The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
And a welcome in on this Thursday. It is a new month. It is a new era. The NIL is here already. A couple of Tigers have taken advantage. Quindell Johnson for the University of Memphis has a deal. We'll tell you about that in a second. Landers Nolly does too, and it's not the Landers, Brett, you were thinking about.
Close.
But he's got a deal, and that is kind of cool. We transitioned from an era, the end of the era where Mississippi State had never won a national team championship. They have now. They were dominant last night. Will Bednar was unhittable. Frankly, in the two games that Mississippi State beat Vanderbilt, they were much better at every position.
Everything, and defensively, no errors.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Vandy's defense was so suspect. Even, I hate to say it, Rocker hurt himself in the very first inning.
Sure did.
And they made great plays all night long. Congratulations to the Bullies. They are the champions. This is not just July 1st. You know that, don't you? Brett Norsworthy, this is Bobby Bonilla Day. It happens every July.
He's got a lot more of them left.
He's got it all the way until 2035. This is the craziest thing ever, too. In case you don't know, Bobby Bonilla
got a lot of good days left.
He got a deferred deal from the Mets. Do you realize when he did this, and I want to say the first time they cooked this up, it was either 1999 or 2001. And basically, he gets close to $1.2 million.
2001, he was with St. Louis because his injury really sped up the Albert Pujols process.
Right. Well, so really what happened there was the Mets decided instead of paying him off, that this was the deal they were going to do. This is the weirdest thing because I was reading up on this today. I think I have this right. So at that time, the Mets were making all kinds of money because they were involved inadvertently in the Madoff.
The Wilpons.
The Madoff deal. So they think, we're making all this money. Why should we put up $5.9 million? Only $6 million. We'll pay him this $1.2 million for 25 years. We'll start it, though, in 2010. So starting in 2010, Bobby Bonilla gets $1.2 million, which is really $1.19, every year on July the 1st until 2035 when he'll be 72. How would you like that, a little annuity?
I would take it. Happy July. I would love it.
Oh, my goodness.
Why won't – and now the Mets have changed ownership, and he has a lot of – he's very liquid. Why wouldn't the Mets try to find a number that Bobby Bonilla would agree with, a lump sum payment, and dodge this annual battering they take – in the media?
They're not taking it as a battering anymore. They're wearing it as a badge of honor. Did you see they want to honor him every year on this date at home when they give him the check?
It made me ill when Bobby Bonilla had the Cardinal uniform on, so I loved it when he had to take himself out of the lineup and Albert Pujols came in and the rest was history. But with that, every team has had that player. You can't believe he's on your team. I know a lot of Cub fans that it made them sick to see Jim Edmonds wearing a Cub uniform. Oh. And he was at the end, and he wasn't really adding anything. Bonilla was my least favorite ever.
Really?
It was driving me crazy to see him. A.J. Przinsky was real close in his short-lived Cardinal career.
Well, I thought, if I'm Bobby Bonilla, I mean, unless they're going to say, all right, we'll give you $15 million now, and then you try to do the math, and you could put that into something that you think will really make it. But I wouldn't mind taking $1.2 million every single year and knowing that's coming.
You never broke.
Yeah. Knowing that's coming, that's a pretty good day.
All right, on NIL, give me a Tiger player from yesteryear. But after you got here, maybe in those early days, football and basketball, do you think they could have really cashed in on NIL?
Keith Lee.
Would he have talked? Would he have been pitch man? Would he have embraced that role?
I think he would have. I think at that point, he really was not very savvy, but I think kids are more savvy now, too.
I do, too.
Because of social media. I think Keith Lee would have cashed in.
I think this is a really good generation.
I'll tell you right now, you know who else would have cashed in who is pretty savvy? Penny Hardaway.
Penny would have.
And Penny would have had the guys. Remember Mark Owen?
Remember Mark who did the Penny
he's still
logo.
He's still at Middle Tennessee State, I think. His son, by the way, is a pretty good golfer. I think he played college golf. Mark would have helped him. I mean, he did that penny for him.
He did. I've got it somewhere.
Oh, you know who really would have cashed in? Really would have cashed in? D'Angelo Williams.
He would have, but that wasn't yesteryear. That was 21st century. Who in the 80s would have? Tiger football.
Oh, gosh.
Tim Harris.
Oh, Tim Harris certainly would have.
Derek Crawford.
Oh, yeah, D.C. would have.
Glenn Rogers.
Good, he could have. Sure.
Because Glenn, very well spoken.
Oh,
solid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You would want Glenn pitching your product.
Absolutely. I think Glenn ought to be pitching products now. But if you go back in time, how about Larry Finch?
Oh, just happy. How much you want to make?
Larry Finch would have rung it up.
I think Andre Turner would have made more as affable as he was than Keith.
Well, it just depends on Keith's attitude. Because I will say this. It didn't take long for the little general to become accepted, but there was that first year that people were skeptical of him. And don't forget, he was in a battle to begin with. He wasn't even going to absolutely be the starter. Ricky McCoy was going to be the starter, and then Andre beat him out. And Andre turned the ball over a little bit too much early, and then he grew into it. But Keith was embraced from the get-go. And to this day, Keith Lee is one of the greatest college basketball players I've ever seen.
For sure. Is good a high post passing big man.
Oh.
Bill Walton.
Hands.
The only thing in there, the hands, the rebound, the defense. I mean, his defense was really solid. Here's a 21st century Tiger basketball player that I think would have really cashed in from his persona, from his style of play. DJ Steffens.
DJ Steffens, by the way, do you ever see him on Twitter?
I don't think.
My gosh, I do all the time. He's pretty funny. He's actually pretty darn funny. I think DJ Steffens, not initially, but in his last couple of years, I think you're right. He would have captured the fancy because he was such a fun, pretty player to watch. Always played hard, no question.
Anthony Miller. What about Anthony Miller?
Anthony Miller would have been your teammate.
He would have been a fantastic one. He was a guy on Twitter all the time. He's got a voice. He's got a personality.
I'll tell you who actually has sort of that country, plain, honest personality. Alan Cross.
I was going to mention that's more of a low key one.
Yeah,
that's more of a low key one. But that is all personality.
Oh, I'll tell
Alan.
you. Can I tell you who would have cashed in? My former analyst, who I love.
Bob Rush.
Bob Rush would have. Now that's back in the 70s, right? He probably would have. I don't know him as an athlete though.
Now y'all know the flip side.
No,
of all this,
let me give you the other guy.
It's all sunshine and daffodil today on the first day of it, but you play bad, and you get that blowback, and they're going to have to get ready for. I wouldn't take anything that you're offering the way you're playing. There's going to be extreme blowback because we know how nasty the social gets. Well,
the nasty social is going to be there. I don't think that's going to affect the income because the income is going to be on impressions that you make.
Play. That's what the coach has to worry about.
Well, if you play, you will get pay. That should be the bottom line. Let me finish my thought on the guy, Chris Powers. Chris Powers caught the pass.
Oh, yeah.
That is the only guy, the only team to beat Tennessee. So I can promise you he would have cashed in big for that.
And the other thing, and obviously sunshine and daffodils today, The other thing, whenever there's business and money involved in anything, there's going to be shady businessmen. There's going to be bad business deals. And I think that's one of the things where a lot of guys may get enticed into some of those. So that's another one of those things that is being discounted today.
Let's start with what we've got today. Quindell Johnson was the first one to sign, and he has signed with a gaming company called Yoke Gaming. This is not gambling, because that, by the way, is one of the ground rules of the NILs. You can't be involved in any of the new phone gambling sites. Yeah, that is forbidden. So this is actual gaming, and you can go online and game on this thing called Yoke Gaming, and you can play against Quindell Johnson. So I guess the more guys that come on to play against Quindell Johnson, the more money he will make, right? In that
you can also watch the stream. It's yes, you can pay to play against him, but you can also watch and donate to the stream itself.
So you just donate? So in other words, let's just say I like Quindell Johnson, and
you go watch his stream playing
I watch,
2K NBA 2K21,
and I pay to watch that stream. That's the deal?
You can donate to
or
it,
it's just
if
a
you'd
donation. So I want to give $50 because I like Quindell Johnson. We had an interception this week, and I want to watch him. I want to watch him play somebody on stream. That's how he'll make his money. So you're right. I mean, if he doesn't make that interception and it goes right through his hands, and the guy gets a pick, scores a touchdown, maybe you wouldn't want to watch him that week. Is that's the implication there?
I think, where there's good, there's bad. There's going to be some blowback, and then that coach and that position grouping coach is going to have to deal with the after effects of all this. I think Doc Holliday in the day would have made a lot of money.
Oh, he would have. Well, see, Doc kind of never really got the kind of playing time he should have had because Chuck Stobart first made him gain weight. It was a mess. So I'm
very well
really
spoken.
I'm not really well spoken, obviously. He went on to become a television
Steve Matthews would have made money.
Oh,
Russell
yeah.
Copeland and Isaac Bruce here would have made money.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Cody Mack would have made money. All those good receivers with that Steve Matthews throwing to them. What is Stock Risers? That is the Landers Nolly
I don't know.
deal.
It is for him, he's going to write a weekly blog.
So it's a weekly blog, and he gets paid for that blog. Does he get paid by the hits that the blog gets?
Or a flat fee?
I believe, from what I read, it's a flat fee. That's my understanding.
Gabe Kuhn, that could have been your cash in the day.
That could have been big.
Right. Am I going to get my back pay on this or what?
I don't think you're going to get back pay on
Wouldn't
this
set
one.
the budget.
That is why the NCAA
That's why they made sure they couldn't get sued.
do the NIL.
Yeah, I would next month's bills and stuff. I wouldn't allocate that. Look, we've all had a dream. We've had that dream about FanDuel. We've had that dream about baseball. Tie game, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. At FanDuel Sportsbook, you get more than one shot to swing for the fences. Swing like Ohtani at FanDuel. They're letting you place your first bet risk-free. That's right. New users get up to $1,000 back in site credit if the first bet doesn't pay off. There's a reason why FanDuel Sportsbook's America's #1 sportsbook. There's a lot of reasons. The app's simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, fun bet types like same-game parlay. Always on promotions to let you get more action out of every game day. When you win at FanDuel, you get your cash in as little as 24 hours. Mentioned Ohtani last night in that freak show at Yankee Stadium between the Angels and the Yankees. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up for promo code CASH to get in on the action. That's FanDuel Sportsbook. Promo code CASH must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for risk-free bet. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions do apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. They're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Happy July to you and yours from Lexus of Memphis into Independence Day and into Independence Day with the Lexus of Memphis Golden Opportunity Sales Event. 901-362-8833. Great offers on all 2021 models and special lease options always. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2021 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833, online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Man, there is so much going on after Mississippi State wins the national championship in baseball. Feds and Coco Gauff, remember that 17-year-old at Wimbledon today? They both advanced to the third round, but the day belongs to the new era. The name, image, and likeness legislation that began. Interesting. It hit home quickly here. Maybe that's because Memphis was proactive enough to get that Maximum, that marketing consulting company that will help these athletes. I thought it was very interesting that the first one to get a deal was a football player over a basketball player, and that tells you that Memphis football is rising in this area's consciousness. We used to think U of M, we would think basketball first and football next. Maybe we're seeing a little bit of a change there, but it was Kendall Johnson. They got the first deal. But here comes Landers Nolly. I'm so happy for him. I would suspect that most of the basketball players will find something. We'll be getting a lot more about that. We'll be hearing from all of these schools and how they are going to work their deals. They'll all be a little bit different because there are not really that many ground rules that are in place now. I got a feeling we're going to sort of make them up as we go along here, but we're here. And players are now legally going to be paid to play their sport.
My top story, Mississippi State made it look easy after dropping game one in the best of 2 out of 3. They win it all last night in Omaha, and you could hear all 3 games, but really last night, just how impressed the TV crew, Carl Ravitch and company, that they were with the State fans. And I tell you who's going to miss the World Series in Omaha. Omaha businesses are going to miss all those maroon-clad bullies. They showed up loud, proud, and they were able to celebrate from the 7th inning on. They were counting outs early. Will Bednar was great early, and they made Kumar Rocker look bad. 50-win team, 0 errors, national champions, Mississippi State.
I was so impressed with their defense. I'm so glad you brought that up. And I did feel bad for Rocker because that was clearly not his best.
It was so sound fundamentally, Dave. First of all, put the ball in play. Don't strike out. You don't. Sometimes you just by putting it in play, even really good players turn into little leaguers. Then when they put it in play against you, field it, pitch it, catch it soundly, you're champions.
And I got to give Mississippi State's coaching staff a great deal of credit here. Lamonis and company, the very first hitter that comes up to face Rocker, that kid was prepared. He knew there was going to be a strike. He knew it was going to be heat. First pitch, base hit,
but stay off the breaking stuff.
The game was on. I was really impressed. And by the way, Omaha's got to be grateful. They got the whole thing in. And they went to the last day. They got third game. They even had a couple delays in there so people would buy more stuff in the ballpark.
Yeah.
It couldn't have worked out.
Breaking as we speak, Dan Snyder with Washington stepping down.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that was
not top story of the day.
So about 20 minutes ago, this story came out. The NFL has fined the Washington football team $10 million as a result of the league's investigation into the team's workplace culture. The money will be used to support organizations committed to character education, anti-bullying, healthy relationships, and related topics. In addition, Tanya Snyder, who was named the team's co-CEO this week, will take over the day-to-day duties and represent the franchise at league functions for the next several months. Her husband, Dan Snyder, will focus on a new stadium plan and other matters, but maybe there's another chapter to this.
Could be, and it's very Memphis relatable.
Is that what you got, that he stepped down?
He has stepped away, and that's big for him to give up that power. They would love to have him out and have Fred Smith in. My not top story, 31 in a second half, 41 for the game, and back to those basics like Mississippi State, 0 turnovers for Chris Paul. He had a series-clinching win in the Western Conference Finals last night, and his first finals ever, and the Suns' third ever, 76 and 93 of the two. Will it be Milwaukee or Atlanta as the opponent? Who will it be? All-important Game 5 tonight in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm for Atlanta. I want Atlanta and Phoenix.
I've been for the Bucks all year long. I can't go against that. We did get the news today, Giannis out. And by the way, now, you sold now on Chris Paul? I mean, I was the only guy kind of pushing him. They don't win that game last night without Chris Paul. Look, when they cut it to 7, Phoenix was ahead the whole game. Here come the Clippers. They cut it to 7. Chris Paul takes over the game, guys. Not Booker, not Ayton. Chris Paul, the leader, the guy who has all the experience in the world, 16 years in the NBA. He scores 14 of the next 16 Suns points.
And you knew he was going to have the ball in his hands.
Yep.
7 for 8 from 3, but I do have to mention real quick about Dan Snyder. I don't think he has stepped down completely. He's being removed from day-to-day operations.
Right. So I said at the end, I wasn't sure if
that's a muted position.
Maybe Stats had another story prior to or post this one that's
going from corner office to running the mailroom.
Well, that's why he put his wife in there. He's this to me isn't total removal. This is, okay, I'm going to go check out a new stadium plan, and I'm going to move to another office, and I'm going to put her right there. And then she's going to come home to me every night, and we're going to go over exactly what we're going to do. She's going to be the face, but he's going to be running it still. But after this $10 million deal, I think
I wish somehow,
in order to save himself,
the new stadium could be right there on East Capitol where RFK was.
Is RFK still there?
I think so, but in the process of being demolished.
If they raise it, then
the D.C. Armory is right there. I don't know if there's enough land there because it was pretty tight. But at the end of East Capitol, I mean, literally, you could stand in the wintertime, you could stand on the steps of the east front of the Capitol and see all the way down it to D.C. Armory and RFK.
We really are busy today. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk bullies and baseball and Starkville and the nuts that went on in Omaha with Matt Wyatt from the Mississippi State Network. He also is a host of a statewide radio show, so he is all over this thing. We'll chat with him at 3:30. Keith Smith from Yahoo Sports on the NBA and tonight's game and last night's clincher for the Suns. We'll get into that. I can't wait because I put a little thinking cap on and a little effort. In the 4:30 slot, we will name the top 5 national sports stories and the person of the year for the first half of 2021. Then we'll do the same thing at 4:45 for the local sports scene. We talk Tigers with Greg Gaston. That comes your way at about 5 o'clock. We'll let you know what's going on. If there's any more stories at 5:30, sort of go over the day, and then we'll bring you Taco Bell Crunch Time at 5:45 or 5:50. Time to get out of the house. It's time to go to Family Leisure. Great price on in-stock and incoming products. I'm telling you, it's never looked better than it does right now at I-40 and Whidden Road. Keep the kids active. Play gyms in stock. They're ready for delivery. There are markdowns on remaining game room products. Check out the massage chairs. Special prices on them. Hot tubs are going fast. Reserve yours now before the cold weather comes. All you got to do is get to see my guys at Family Leisure. We will head down to Mississippi. We'll talk with Matt Wyatt in just a minute.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM.
Hey, Jeff Allen. I hear it's time to trade up to a Kia at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. What you got for me?
We got it all for you, Randy, at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. 2021 Kia Forte, $129 a month. 2021 Kia Soul, $137 a month. Both at $39.79 due at signing. And built in America, 2021 Kia K5, $169 per month, only $29.99 due at signing, and all 36-month lease.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with the leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, or gosh, you could be from anywhere, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month lease, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte ME 3716, MSRP 20,930, Soul M71 44,946, MSRP 20,515, K5 MGO 21,674, MSRP 26,170, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit, warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stotts. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back in on this almost a holiday Thursday, 1st of July. New era has begun with the NIL and a new sense of championship history for Mississippi State. Now they get their first national team championship with their dominating performance in games 2 and 3 at the College World Series against Vanderbilt. And we are going to talk with Matt Wyatt from the Mississippi State Network here in just 1 second. I will let you know the weekend is coming. A lot of you are going to start playing golf. Some of you are going to take off tomorrow. You're thinking golf. You're going to play Saturday. You're going to play Sunday. Monday's the national holiday now. Golf, golf, golf. I'm talking Memphis public golf. I'm talking the sporting tradition for 100 years in this town, and you don't realize how good we got it. I think the city of Memphis has it right. Golf is an amenity. They put money into this whole system. Mickey Barker does a terrific job, and they are now in outstanding shape. We've had the 70-degree nights for a while now, and we've had enough water, and they've all got good sprinkling systems anyway, irrigation systems. The fairways, if you go by Walnut Grove and look at what we've got at Galloway right now, you go, that's a country club for sure. Fox Meadows, Audubon, Pine Hill, all the same. And all those courses are going to have their own championships this year, leading to the city championship, which we know is called the Pub Links. And, of course, there's the Hillman Robbins championship as well. There is a bigger emphasis on amateur competitive play at all levels. So you get the rush. You get to understand what it's like to really play in competition. And if you're a junior, 14 and under, you walk, you play for free any of the golf courses, or go to Whitehaven. There are clinics. If you're a mom or a dad, you want your kid to learn the right way to play, you go to the website. You can learn exactly when they will be having these terrific clinics with the city pros. It's all about making the game better for you. Memphis and City Golf, a tradition for over 100 years. I think it's Omaha we go. Matt, remember the old Today Show thing? Where is Matt? So, Matt Wyatt, where are you? Are you in Omaha? Are you back in Mississippi? What's the deal?
I am on Highway 80 East, just outside of Omaha, headed towards Des Moines, and my destination is a stopover tonight before I head back to Mississippi. I'm going to a place in Dyersville, Iowa, that holds a little baseball history of its own. You guys got any idea where that is?
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I'm headed there. I'm going to hopefully they are open, and the Field of Dreams is open until 9 p.m., so I should be there and maybe see it tonight.
Wow.
If not, I'll spend the night and tour it in the morning and then head back to Mississippi.
Brett, who else just told us?
Rick Horrow.
Rick Horrow. 2 days ago,
he
was
there. That is a real
there.
destination for a lot of people. And Matt, I know you love baseball, and boy, you'll have all the good kind of feels there, but you got the great kind of feel. I want to ask you this. When you woke up this morning, was it the first thing you thought of? Your beloved Bulldogs, national champs?
Yeah, I think so. Now, I woke up early because I didn't go to the post-game hoopla over at the team hotel.
Yeah.
I went back after I got what I needed, Brett. I went to my room, went to sleep because I knew today was a work day and I wanted to get up, and I did. I was one of the first things you wake up and you just think
That
about,
happened.
boy, yeah, that really happened. You know, the atmosphere was incredible, and in a town full of State fans that sort of took it over. And I tell you, Brett, the State fans absolutely took over that stadium for 2 days, and there's no question it had an impact on the game.
No doubt.
And, even in last night's game, I thought the most important at-bat was the first one, because the first pitch of the game, Rowdy Jordan takes a Kumar Rocker pitch, hits it in the right field for a single, and with that happening, literally, Brett, they announced the attendance at 24,000 and change. Well, I promise you, this is not an exaggeration. 23,000 of them were yelling and screaming for Mississippi State. I mean, even people dressed up like Nebraska fans, and just people from Omaha were yelling for State. Vanderbilt literally had maybe 1,000 to 1,500 fans in the stadium, and that's it. So when that first pitch goes in a right field, Kumar Rocker had 23,000 screaming fans on his back, and it was relentless. I think it had an effect on the game.
Dave Woloshin started our show 35 minutes ago with the same take that the tone was set with that pitch.
Yeah, and it really was. And then, you doubled up on the early momentum by getting that double play to get out of the bottom of the first. And then Bednar reels off 6 innings of no-hit baseball. And even at 3-0 after 2 innings, I thought 3's not enough. Well, then it was 5-0 after 4 innings. I thought, that ain't enough. There's a lot of baseball left. And I really, a lot of people felt that way. When Kellum Clark hit that 3-run shot in the 7th to make it 9-0, that place was in celebration mode. It was something to see.
Well, I'm curious. the defense that you guys played, and you mentioned that double play, even the final out. I mean, there was no miscues, and that was where Vandy disappointed me a little bit. I did not think they were sharp defensively in the whole series.
No, they weren't. There was a graphic. I don't know what the game finished, but at one point in the game, I was up in the press box getting a Diet Coke. I looked up at the screen, and ESPN popped a graphic on the screen that said, in the College World Series, Vandy at that point had committed 12 errors, and Mississippi State had committed none at that point. That's pretty telling.
It is.
I mean, you know, just in the whole World Series. And see, State was a team that struggled for a good portion of the year with its defense in the left side of the infield because you had two first-year players over there. Cam James, who was the third baseman last night, early in the year lost the starting shortstop job because of defense and, you know, found his way out of the lineup. They put him back at third. That's why they were playing a freshman Forsythe at short. And it's just like it all came together for them. They were really good defensively the entire time. And you know what I think, guys, it speaks to is, you know, baseball is that sport more than anything else where you have to get there and then play your best. You know, you can play as clean and as beautifully as you want to in March and April, and a lot of times it'll go for naught. You got to get there in May and June and then play your best baseball, and that's what State did.
Let me ask you, the 23,000 fans, their reaction when Lamonis took out Bednar with a no-hitter. I can tell you, I was going, what?
Yeah. Well, you know, in the stadium, there was sort of this maybe about 10 to 15 seconds of this palpable, hey, wait a minute, who's this? Bednar's not going out. But then when they saw that it was Landon Sims, you know, Sims has been so dominant, and every State fan's wondering, okay, when are you going to see Sims? Because you knew you were going to. It was just a matter of when. And I really think you could sort of feel it happening in the stadium. In that top of the seventh, it lasted so long. And the entire, you know, 24 hours leading up to the game, the talk was about how Bednar was going into this game on one less day's rest than he normally would. He's on 3 days. You know, he's a first rounder. In all of our interviews, the coaches and everything are saying, you know, you want to be careful because this is important, but his future is important, and maybe more so. We got to protect him a little bit. You know, we can't have him out there on short days rest throwing 120 pitches. Well, he was already at 90 pitches through 6, and then you get in the top of the 7th. State put up those 4 runs, hit a solo home run, hit a 3-run shot. The inning went on forever. And Lamonis said after the game that because of the length of that top half of the 7th, he'd been sitting in a dugout forever. We just didn't feel like it was the right thing to do to run him back out there. And as it turned out, you know, Sims was able to get the outs and close the game out for you.
Matt, there's so many people that can take credit, proper credit for this, all the great fans. They showed Coach Ron Polk a lot of times in the stands what the foundation that he laid, the players on the current team. There's so many. Chris Lamonis. There's one other guy that should take a big, big victory lap, and that's John Cohen, because when it came undone a few years ago with the baseball program, with his successor, he went out and he identified Chris Lamonis as the person to right the ship and calm everybody. Yeah. He nailed it. Athletic directing extraordinaire.
And Brett, I tell you, man, you're nailing it. John had pressure on him to hire Gary Henderson as the permanent coach, you know, because Gary became the interim coach in 2018 after the Andy Cannizaro fallout. He became the interim coach and then took him to Omaha as the interim coach. And so there was pressure on John to hire him and could have done it, and Gary would have done a good job. But John sort of went against that to make the Lamonis hire, which is pretty risky if it doesn't work out right. The guy knows what he's doing. And I tell you, you know, you think about his life and career, he's a player with Palmero and Clark. Now, they were older than him, but he's on that team. He coaches them, comes back decades later and coaches them into the finals of the College World Series against UCLA to come up short and be runner-up. And then as the AD, he hires the coach who gets you back there, and you win one. So, yes, John absolutely deserves a lot of credit, and good on you, Brett, for bringing that up.
Where does Ron Polk live now? Is he back in Starkville?
Yeah, he's in one of those ambassador roles for the athletics department. He lives in Starkville. Ron's in Omaha. I talked to him this morning at the hotel. He's been a fixture there all week. And this morning he was walking through and struck up a conversation, and he had a piece of paper with him, and he holds it up and he says, "Yeah, this is my plane ticket. I'm flying up to Providence for the Cape Cod stuff in the summer." He said, "But I can't fly out until tomorrow morning." He says, "So I'm just stuck here in Omaha today." He says, "Well, I guess I'll just go to the zoo." And so I thought, well, somebody's going to see Coach Polk, I guess, walking around the zoo today all by himself in Omaha, because he's waiting to go to Providence to coach up in the Cape Cod League tomorrow.
And, Matt, it goes back to, I think, when we had you for the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, maybe super regional time, those two games in Hoover, again, whatever Chris Lemonis, whatever he said when he got back, and I think a lot of it might not go out over FCC-regulated airwaves, he got into them good, and they responded.
Well, that's right, Brett. And it was a little bit of a wake-up call, right? And maybe not at a bad time at all, to sort of show – and again, people forget this, that it's largely a young team. You had experience at the top of your lineup in two spots, and that's really it. I mean, outside of Hancock, who'd had a few at-bats for you before, I mean, your three-hole hitter is a first-year player. Your five-hole, your six-hole are new players for you. Now, the Brule transferred in there. The bottom of your lineup are all new guys. The bottom two in your lineup last night, including the guy who hit the three-run home run, is a true freshman. So, in other words, it's a group that, after getting just embarrassed in Hoover, he says, "All right, boys, if you don't get ready to play, and if we don't get you ready to play, this is what's going to happen. This thing's going to end real quick." So I think you're right. It was a wake-up call that those young players especially really needed.
I can tell you, and I promise you this, when they look back at this year and this season, they are never going to think about what happened in Hoover. It just shows you the conference championship doesn't mean a darn thing anymore, because you got regional, super regional, and World Series, and you've got to adjust your personnel and your pitching staff in that order for those things, and not once you've established that you're going to be a host of a regional. I don't think it really matters at all, and you're in the catbird seat. Once again, we use that term. If you are going to be a host, you don't have to worry.
And I will tell you this, Dave. What you're pointing at, I mean, I think what you're saying is dead on. But to me, also, what it speaks to is, if that conference tournament, if you're in a position to go in there and improve your seeding in that NCAA tournament, whether it's going from being a 3 to being a 2, or whether it's certainly go look at Mississippi State, if it's going from being just a host to being one of the top 8, okay? Because now it didn't play out this way this year for Ole Miss and State, but you just look at the difference. I mean, Ole Miss had to go on the road for their super regional and face a really good Arizona team that could hit the baseball. And it's a long trip. Your fans aren't there, all that stuff. Whereas Mississippi State, they're one of those top 8. And look at the advantage for them in hosting a super regional with Notre Dame in there. So what I think is, if the SEC tournament can help you improve that seeding, that's where the emphasis ought to be. The types of losses, that's the thing about it. I think this proved that you can't judge the performance and say, okay, well, based on Hoover, this is how a team's going to play in the super regional. But the seeding does obviously really matter.
Well, yeah, but let me remind you, the number 1 seed overall for this tournament was Arkansas.
Yeah, and they ran up against NC State. And I tell you what, I know Mississippi State's the champs here, but in the middle of the week and after the first few games, I'll be honest with you, NC State looked like the best team there to me. And the way that they took care of business on that side of the bracket and had already put a loss on Vanderbilt, they looked like the best team, and then COVID got them.
That's just heartbreaking, but it is what it is. Hey, it is a pleasure always to chat with you, Matt. And I'll tell you, we are getting closer to SEC Media Day.
See you in 3 weeks. We'll talk football, Matt.
Football. So we're going to have you on a bunch more. Have we lost Matt?
Thank you, Matt. Are you there?
I think we lost him.
I think we have.
You know what?
He's on his way to Field of Dreams.
Somewhere on 80 going east to Field of Dreams, and perfect timing to lose him. We paused for just a second. We're back with a wrap of hour number 1 on this New Era Thursday on Sports Time on Sports 56.
Get happy with Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
Hey, if you're hungry for great Mexican food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, got it. La Guadalupana, La Guadalupana, Guadalupana. Choose from tacos, burritos, enchiladas, sizzling shrimp, beef or chicken fajitas, and even a Cuban sandwich filled with Mexican sausage, chicken, ham, steak, jalapenos, avocado. Add a nice cold beer to your super nachos. Top with melted cheese, beans, sour cream, guacamole, tomato, and jalapenos. Great prices, generous portions, great service at 3 locations, Summer Avenue, Cordova Road in Winchester. La Guadalupana.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear it's time to trade up to a Kia at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. What you got for me?
We got it all for you, Randy, at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. 2021 Kia Forte, $129 a month. 2021 Kia Soul, $137 a month. Both at $39.79 due at signing. And built in America, 2021 Kia K5, $169 per month, only $29.99 due at signing, and all 36-month lease.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with the leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, or gosh, you could be from anywhere, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month lease, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte ME3716, MSRP 20,930, sold M7144,946, MSRP 20,515, K5 MGO 21,674, MSRP 26,170, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit, warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Swerving, speeding, and reckless driving can leave you in your own dust. Drag racing has its consequences. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. So slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wilson and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back in. Final segment of our number one on this Thursday. It's brought to you by Ken Garland. Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. Maybe over this holiday weekend, this long weekend, you might want to sit back, reflect, and say, is this the time? Especially if you own land, have land in your family. Is this the time to build? Because we know the way the housing thing is going now. To buy an existing house is going to cost you an arm and a leg. Build it with Ken. Maybe because that market's so crazy, you'd make money on the way out, but you got to buy something right to replace it. Maybe you ought to renovate. Renovation with innovation. That's the Ken Garland Custom Home Builder specialty. Takes all the new technology, everything you could possibly want, all the modern amenities, puts it in your old home. Suddenly you got a new palace. It's terrific. He's been doing it for 2 generations. Started with his dad. He's been carrying on. They've been around for over 50 years, renovating fine custom homes and building them from scratch all over our metropolitan area. I want you to go see what he's about. Go to kengarland.com, and then as soon as you see that, call 751-1632. He's an interesting guy to talk to. He sees little details, big picture, all at the same time. If you're ready to make that move, especially in this marketplace right now, please give Ken a call. 751-1632. Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. Reggie Bush has said he wants his Heisman Trophy back.
Amnesty, blanket immunity.
Well, that's what I'm wondering about. Because we
like
are
when
now
President Carter absolved all the people who went to Canada dodging the draft.
Right.
Amnesty.
So if you were an offender from before, Fab Five is
Derrick
the,
Rose,
is the
banner
group.
at FedEx Forum needs to go back up.
Exactly. Should you?
Ole Miss won on the field in 14 and 15 against Alabama.
The Derrick Rose thing has nothing to do with money. That's
true.
It's all baloney anyway. But
Why don't we just
him.
do this? Why don't we have the full amnesty of everything and restore the record books to what happened on the fields and courts of play?
Yeah. No. So if you had a vote, seriously, let's just say all three of us here. Gabe, if you had a vote and you say, okay, now that we've got this stuff in, I'm saying Reggie Bush, here's your Heisman Trophy back. Would you say yes?
100% yes.
100% restoration.
I think
should have been before
now,
today.
This is amazing, but we are all in agreement. So we got 2 different generations here. And we don't always agree on much.
We've got real old, and real young.
Okay. I wouldn't have put you as real old, but if you want to take that.
I will say, if it has to do with academic fraud or something like that, you may have
now
to.
You're talking Rose, so you're gonna.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. When the NIL is put in, anybody who got extra benefits or received money, let's relax. Let's give them back whatever their award was. But academic fraud's an entirely different thing.
I tend to agree with you 100% on that. But here's the problem with me and them stripping 2008 is they cleared him. So there is a presumption
NCAA, governing body,
of innocence when you are cleared and said,
play ball.
Play him. And then they go, whoa, wait a second.
How about what A.J. Green had to go through over an Independence Bowl jersey?
You're right.
And not to mention, D. Rose is one player on a roster of guys.
No,
so there's another point.
He was a pretty important player.
No doubt. I'm not saying that.
What's really sad are people that claim a win off of forfeit when they know when they went to the ballpark they lost. I would never claim that, ever.
I agree with that. So if we say that, should there be an asterisk? Because NC State, you just heard Matt Wyatt say they were the best team there.
No asterisk. No. Because we had that in every NCAA sport this year. Men's hockey, men's basketball. We had bowl teams that were headed to the bus to head to the airport that were pulled off of it and couldn't go.
Mississippi State, honestly, you deserve your title.
They do.
You did everything you did. You could have.
No italics, no
asterisk. But all you
can
do is feel for NC State what could have been. What could have been. That's all you could say. And that's an hour in the books, but we are still getting warm. We'll talk NBA with Keith Smith down in Orlando, Florida. He writes for Yahoo, and we've got lots to talk about in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, I started the first micro distillery in the state of Texas with my dog, Dog Joe, at my side. We're still working with dogs out at the distillery after all these years. Learn more about how dogs are a part of life here at Tito's Handmade Vodka at vodkafordogpeople.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is made from corn and naturally gluten-free. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Get more out of summer with savings on appliances to simplify and streamline during the Home Depot's 4th of July savings. Give your laundry room an upgrade with big savings in-store and online on top appliances like LG high-efficiency top-load washers and dryers. Right now, you'll save a bundle. Celebrate summer with 4th of July savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only, while supplies last, free delivery on purchases of $396 or more. Valid through July 14th.
Everyone needs help sometimes. If you know of a man who needs help, John 3:16 Ministries is a spiritual boot camp for men with drug and alcohol addictions. There is no cost for the program to any man suffering from addiction. The only requirement is to be broken and willing to learn a new way of life. Go to john316thecure.com to find out more. Remember, there is hope. John 3:16 Ministries. We don't offer treatment, we offer the cure.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Oh, yeah, welcome in on the 1st of July, a new era. We got the NIL. Already a couple of U of M athletes have cashed in. Quindell Johnson is now going to be part of Yoke Gaming. Landers Nolly is going to be with Stock Risers. So he's writing a blog, and they're making some money being athletes, and we have reached a new day. We mentioned, and we had a bunch of discussion on the College World Series. It's a new era of history for the Bullies. They win their first national title in a team sport. Congratulations to Chris Lemonis and everybody else that was a part of domination. Frankly, the last two games after they got bombed the first game, they came back and really put it to Vandy.
Best team won.
The best team absolutely won that game. It's Bobby Bonilla Day. He gets his $1.2 million. So we are in the thick of it. We just learned a little while ago Giannis will not play in Game 5 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. There's a guy watching this thing very closely. We chat with him. We're fortunate to get with him every week from Yahoo. That's Keith Smith, who resides in Orlando. I want to get into the series and the Phoenix win and all of that other stuff. But let's begin, since you're in Orlando, with Penny Hardaway and the flirtation with the Magic and the 4-hour interview. What were you hearing down in Orlando about Penny's meeting with the Magic?
Yeah, and good afternoon, guys. What I had heard was that the initial thought was, let's just have a conversation. It wasn't really overly serious on either side. He wasn't too sure he wanted to do anything as far as leaving Memphis, and the Magic weren't so sure he was the guy for them. But after they met, it got a little bit more serious. But then after some discussion on both sides, I think the Magic are looking for someone who has coached at the NBA level previously, and I think Penny Hardaway very much feels like, from what I've been hearing and from what he said himself, is there's some unfinished business at Memphis, and he wants to get that thing done. He's had kind of 2 seasons where it's been a mess due to COVID reasons and that, so I think he really wants to be able to do things, to get a normal college basketball season in there and get that going. So ultimately the Magic are going to go elsewhere, but they all left it open of, hey, let's talk again down the line if there's ever another opportunity.
What about Kenny Atkinson? You think he'll get it now?
I don't know. It's very unclear where the Magic's interest even lies with Kenny Atkinson. It sounds like Wes Unseld Jr., whose dad played in the NBA and then was a longtime executive in the NBA, is in the mix. He's also in the mix for the Washington job. Becky Hammond out of San Antonio is in the mix. And then Willie Green, who is a former player who's highly thought of assistant with the Phoenix Suns. He's been getting kind of more later interest because of the Suns' playoff run and some of the things that have been happening there. It sounds like he's also in the mix. So I'm not sure if it's going to be Kenny Atkinson or not. That one seems to make a lot of sense, but I just don't know if that's the direction Orlando's
No
going.
Patrick Ewing?
No. As far as we've heard, I don't even think he's been under consideration at this point.
I want to go to Becky Hammond for a minute. And we know there are 2 or 3 women who've been mentioned now for several jobs, and they're all women that I think could do the job. I think media at this point is to a place where they are accepting that a woman could be a head coach in the NBA. I think if Becky Hammond were to take over for Greg Popovich, all the players already know exactly what she's all about. They have to respect her. She's been almost a right-hand man for Popovich all this time. So that would make sense to me there. My question is, it's the players. Would a young team like Orlando have enough respect for a woman to come in that they don't know it all and do that job? That's where I wonder.
Yeah, I think a young team actually is better positioned than maybe a more veteran team. These younger guys, they grew up with, hey, this is what it is. A lot of these guys in the league had moms who played in the WNBA and those kind of things. So I think there's some thought that a younger team might be easier for a first-time, woman head coach in the NBA because it would be, they grew up in a slightly different world than some of the veterans who are, maybe 10 plus years into their career. So, and even there, I think even those veterans are okay. I think most of the NBA players at this point their concern is, all right, it's not going to change anything for me salary-wise, so I don't really care on that end. And then it becomes, can we win? And if we can win, and you're the best coach, then let's go. I don't think they really care all that much. I think what you're seeing is franchises want to be careful from the fan side of things a little bit, like Orlando, and I'm not saying this is a big factor, but Becky Hammond's already going to come in with scrutiny whenever she does get that first-time head coaching job in the NBA, and it's going to come soon. You don't want to necessarily put her in a position where the team's not designed to win for a couple years, because you're going to have people who instantly deem her a failure when it's really a organizational decision to not be overly competitive as they rebuild versus anything to do with her coaching acumen.
3 jobs remain open: Orlando, Washington, New Orleans. Which one of the 3 is the best job?
Boy, that's a tough question. They all come with their challenges, and I think it's why they're all 3 are still open. I think I would lean towards, and I promise there's no bias in this because it's where I live right now, but I would lean towards the Orlando job because you're coming in with very little pressure. You're coming in and develop the young talent and get this thing turned around. Now, it's not a overly desirable job because you're going to lose a lot at the beginning, and you're also going to be in a position in Orlando where this is a rebuild, and it's not usually the coach who comes in at the start of the rebuild that's not there still on the back end of it when you're ready to be competitive. In Washington, you got to come in with at least an eye on how long am I going to have Bradley Beal? Is he going to be here for the long haul? What are we doing in that situation? And then in New Orleans, there's very much a question about that already with Zion Williamson. Am I going to be coaching Zion for 5 years, or am I going to be coaching Zion for 5 months? And that starts to become a major question there. So I think that's part of why all 3 of these jobs are still open, because they're all coming in with major questions for whoever their next head coach is going to be.
Of the new positions that have been placed, who's the most successful right off the bat? I guess Rick Carlisle, Indy, that comes to my mind. Where would you go?
I think it might be Ime Udoka in Boston, because I think he's the right fit for what they needed. They needed someone who was going to come in, be a little bit tougher on the players, really push them a little bit harder than maybe Brad Stevens did. Really get into some of those guys. He has a great track record of dealing with star players as when he was a player and then as an assistant coach. And also, I just think that team with better health is really positioned to win right out of the gate. I think that they're going to be really good. Some of the other jobs, there's some questions. Indiana, we don't know what their roster is necessarily going to look like. Are they going to turn this towards more of all right, we're going to break some things up and go in a slightly different direction here? That's very much the expectation. Not that they're going to be rebuilding, because that's not the direction they're going to go, but who's going to be there when they finalize their roster to the start of the season? Dallas, we'll see. There's a lot of upheaval going on there, a lot of opportunity for change. There in the Portland, they've got that Damian Lillard situation kind of, I don't want to say it's hanging over them, but that's kind of floating out there of something that may eventually be dealt with.
Monty Williams was there for the rebuild, and now he's there for the fruits of his labor. Monty Williams in the finals, Chris Paul in the finals.
Yeah, huge for the Suns. I think this is one of the cooler stories, and I'm already over and tired of the people saying, well, it's not a real finals appearance because of X, Y, and Z. It's as real as anything else is. They're not going to come in and say, well, hey, what? Guess what? The Lakers are healthy now. They're going to go in your place. It doesn't work that way in sports. It's like I always think of, I always go back to when, they talk about it's more on the college football level, which I know you guys are real familiar with, where the coaches say, hey, we just play who's in front of us. If our conference is weak and we beat everybody by 50, it is what it is. We can't, do anything about that. And I think that's the way it works in the NBA too. You play who's in front of you and you do your thing. It's not about, being fair or unfair. It's about getting it done. And if you're the last team standing, you're the last team standing. So the Suns have earned this, and they're now going to get a chance to compete for a title that I think is legit as any other title that there's ever been.
Are they the favorites against either team in the East?
Yeah, let's see what the Bucks and Hawks come out health-wise. If Giannis isn't able to go, or he's limited and the Bucks still make it, they'll definitely be the favorites there. If the Hawks don't have Trae Young, they'll be the favorite there. If the Hawks are healthy, the Suns are probably still the favorite. If the Bucks get there and Giannis is able to at least be somewhat of himself in the finals, that seems like a pretty big question mark at this point. Then I think that's probably more of a 50-50 call there, because the Bucks are, they come with their foibles, but they're pretty good. So I think they're a little more even. But let's see who gets there and what their health status is when they get there, because the Suns are coming in pretty healthy.
The Suns are coming in healthy, and they're probably, if they're not the favorite of betting, they're probably the favorite across the country. And that's hard to believe, even for me. The softer spot I have found myself this year for Chris Paul, after not always having that. I think Monty Williams has done a lot of that for me, and the Suns' long history of being a team without winning a title. Are they America's darling?
I think they're turning into it. Now, we'll see if there's a lot of people who are starting to really like the Hawks, but it's funny. Both of them are led by very polarizing point guards. People either love them or, boy, do they not like very much at all. So that becomes, kind of interesting. We saw, Patrick Beverly was just cool and give Chris Paul a shove. That should never happen. That's dangerous. You could hurt players that way. You push him into a guy's knee, and the guy gets hurt. It's just, and you don't push him in the back. That's just, that's Bush League stuff from Patrick Beverly. But you saw a lot of people come out and say, get out of here with that. And then you saw a lot of other people like, Chris Paul probably deserved it. So there's still a lot of people who don't like him, but I do think Suns won an awful lot of people over. And I think the fact that all three of these teams that are still left, they're pretty easy to root for, because their fans are generally pretty good. They're not unreasonable all over the internet and every corner of it, like some other fan bases are. And then also they haven't won in so long that you find yourself feel kind of easy to root for these guys.
I don't understand what Patrick Beverly was doing. Now, I have no idea what was said like 2 minutes before that, but after he makes that bucket and they're calling timeout, and he doesn't seem to say very much at all to him at that point. And then Beverly, who had already been involved in some, I thought, underhanded play, totally loses his cool. I think Patrick Beverly gets hurt by all of this, because my image of him now, and I liked him as a hard-working guy, but I kind of look at him as a dirty kind of player after last night.
Dave, worse than dirty, a guy that can give it and can't take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's been that thought around there. You only need to go ask Russell Westbrook what he thinks of Patrick Beverly, of some of his antics that Westbrook still very much believes caused him to suffer a serious knee injury with the way Beverly's played. There are a lot of people who really don't care for him. So we'll see what comes down. My guess is we're going to see some form of punishment come down here in the next couple of days. It'll probably be that maybe a suspension and miss the first game of next season or something along those lines. Clearly, there's nothing further they can do this year, but people always forget, well, there's nothing they can do. Their season's over. That's not how it works. We regularly have suspensions carry over into the next season, and that's something I think we likely will see coming from the NBA here, just because, again, the fact of you shoved him after the play with his back to you, pushed him into a pile of his own players. There, it's just not a good look at all.
Almost at the beginning of playing sports, anything to somebody's back is Bush.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny. I remember, it was one of those things where, I remember my dad saying to me years and years and years ago when I was a little guy, saying, "Hey, there's a reason even in the sport where they train you to hit people, you're not allowed to hit them from behind in football. It's a penalty because you just don't do that."
I was obviously very disappointed in all of that, and I hope when that suspension of a couple of games comes that it is without pay, because so many times, he's suspended with pay. Oh, really? You get a paid vacation for being a bum. So I hope that is certainly not the case.
I saw a great tweet response today. Don't want to wish too much ill will on Patrick Beverly. Just hope he gets his bags lost flying to Cancun.
Yeah, there's some truth in that. 'Cause that's where they're headed.
Well, when you fly private, it's a lot harder to lose your bags, unfortunately, for him. Can the Bucks, without Giannis, beat Atlanta?
We're going to find out because we know he's not going to play tonight. So my guess is they can. It's just going to be really hard for them because Atlanta, what they'll do with or without Trae Young is they're going to try to turn it into an up and down scoring game. Milwaukee has to really get it controlled and played at the pace they want, which should ideally be a little bit slower because they're going to struggle to outscore Atlanta. It's Chris Middleton, and then who knows, who's going to step up. You hope it's Drew Holiday, but they need somebody else. I've been saying for the last couple of days since the news came out that Giannis was injured, maybe it's time let's throw it to Brook Lopez in the post every once in a while. That was a big part of his game, and it seems like whenever they do it, it's still there. They just might need to do it a little bit more often. But we're going to see. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Chris Middleton, and they're going to need somebody else, whether it's Pat Connaughton or one of the bench players that we don't expect, Elijah Bryant or Jordan Nwora,
the
or
brother of Giannis,
like that steps up.
Well, Holiday's got to play. He's a guy that he's supposed to he makes big bucks. He should be playing.
Yeah, Holiday's going to have to get 20-plus points for them to win. Thanasis will play, but he's not a scoring guy. No. He's not somebody you're going to throw the ball to. You can get him in there for defense, and he'll be in there and doing that. But they need players to step up because they're a limited offensive team. With the way that they play now. But let's see. The Hawks have this tendency sometimes to defensively. Even during this run, they go to sleep and they just don't really show up. So we'll see. It's almost like the Bucks showed up to Game 4. No Trae Young, we'll roll through this thing. Let's see if now that flips. And the Hawks are like, hey, no Giannis, let's get this thing and get moving. So we'll see. In Milwaukee, of course, at home, that's going to be a boost as well.
This is why we love sports, but it just doesn't seem to make sense. And go back to the Philly series with Atlanta. Philly goes to Atlanta, wins Game 6, comes home and loses Game 7 at home. And now Phoenix can they're up 3-1. They can put them away at home, lose, look terrible. It looks like the Clippers, they're going to do it again and come from 3-1 down. And then they go and they just were never they were in the game for a little bit with 7 when they made it a 7-point game in the fourth. And then Chris Paul went crazy. But none of this makes sense to me, which is why we love the NBA. But somehow, Keith Smith, you clarify. How does that happen?
Oh, geez, I really don't know. This playoffs has taught me every time I think I really know something, I don't know as much as I thought I did. It's just been absolutely wild. And if we were still in the position where these buildings were half full or not full at all, I'd say, well, the crowds aren't there, but that's not where we're at anymore.
This is no bubble.
This isn't that anymore. So I really don't know. I do think that what we've seen is the three-point shot in the NBA, because it's so prevalent now, it is the great equalizer, meaning you can either shoot yourself in or out of a game. We see teams shoot themselves into games that they have really no business being in, or that they were way behind in because they'll take a bunch of three-pointers, and then we've seen teams shoot themselves out. And I think last night was a pretty good example of the Suns just kind of did their thing, and they hit a bunch of extra three-pointers on top of it, and the Clippers kind of shot themselves out of it.
And not just prevalent from bigs. I mean, I know that's been the vogue trend thing the last few years, but the old, you're begging them to throw Lopez down on the blocks. He wants to hang around at the three.
Yeah, no, that's what the game is now. If you can't pick and pop, you better be a above the rim guy near the basket like Clint Capella or DeAndre Ayton, because otherwise, there's just not a lot of use for dumping it into the post. Mostly when we see that's situations where we're running it on the second unit, we're going to dump it into a second unit big man, let him do a little bit of work here to kind of stabilize us and buoy us. But that might be where the Bucks can find it. Sometimes when everybody else zigs, you can find some efficiency and some good stuff if you zag, and I think that might be something Milwaukee at least attempts to go through here in the next couple of games.
Well, when Lopez was in Brooklyn, wasn't he like the number 2 guy there? He was a scorer, was he not?
Yeah, and he was a dominant low post player. He didn't take three-pointers until his last year in Brooklyn, and then it became, his game flipped very quickly from being someone who mostly scored in and around the paint to being a jump shooter almost exclusively. And now, at this point in his career, it's almost all jump shots. But we see on occasion they'll run a set here and there where the design is get him the ball. We don't see it a lot with Giannis in the game because you don't want him down there clogging things up, bringing an extra defender to the rim and making it harder for Giannis. But we do see it when he's the only one out there for the big men. PJ Tucker's a perimeter-based guy, so I think that's maybe your transition is play through Brook Lopez a little bit more and see what you can do down there, because the Hawks, Clint Capella will be able to do all right, but if you can get him in foul trouble or anything like that, now all of a sudden Lopez has a pretty advantageous matchup inside.
Last thing, Keith, can the Atlanta Hawks win it all?
Yeah, they might be able to. I think they're going to have trouble if they get through the Bucks with the Suns, just because I don't know that they have the defenders to throw at the Suns' best players. Because, Trae Young's going to play a lot. That removes somebody who can defend Chris Paul. Then you got to figure out a way to guard Devin Booker. They'll do okay up front. They're probably better suited up front to match up with those guys than they are with Milwaukee with Giannis playing. But it's that backcourt of Paul and Booker where they may struggle. And that's going to probably have to be one where Atlanta and the Suns, we think of the Suns, I think sometimes Western Conference team, they've got these stars, they must really want to score a ton of points. And they're really more of a gritty, play-it-out defensive team than they get credit for, where Atlanta, I think, wants to push it up and down the court and score a lot. So that's kind of a good clash of styles if that's what we get.
It's interesting. You've already got Atlanta in there, and a lot of that is Giannis, and I agree. That is a huge loss. I've heard national guys, though, really going after Mike Budenholzer, saying that basically they have not been a good playoff team because he is really not good at making adjustments. And if they don't have Giannis, he's really going to have to make adjustments. Is Mike Budenholzer just a regular season coach?
It's unfortunately starting to feel that way. We're now into this is year 3 of people are looking at it and saying, all right, this year they're finally there, but there's already a lot of people saying they didn't do so great in the first round. They had some struggles. And then in the second round, they got the Nets with pretty banged up Nets team, and that still took 7 games to get through. Then you get the Hawks without Trae Young. Now, they did lose Giannis, but that became a question of, why are you not putting away, this Hawks team that you should be much better than? And that's been the challenge. Now, I think he's done better this year as far as adjusting and changing some of their coverages defensively, running some different stuff offensively. He's pushing his best players more to play more minutes and plays better lineups longer. But yeah, there are definitely serious questions about Mike Budenholzer. And if they can't come back and at least force a Game 7 or win this series, it's still not a lock that he's back in Milwaukee. And I think that is one of those things where we start to look at it and say, all right, is there going to be another chance? You might see one of these teams be, all right, he's a good bridge coach. He's the guy to get us better, get us respectable, and then we'll replace him when it's time to, really start winning.
Keith, it is always a pleasure to chat with you. We'll have a championship matchup all set up when we speak next. Hope you and your family have a wonderful 4th of July.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. You too. Have a happy and safe 4th.
That is our friend down in Orlando, writes for Yahoo Sports. That is Keith Smith. He's brought to you, in fact, this hour is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. That's also the place where you will get the great luxury cars known as Genesis. You want the best bang for your dollar. I'm telling you, there's nothing better than the Genesis luxury car, G70, G80, G90, the new SUV, the one that had 15 airbags deployed to save Tiger Woods' life. That's the GV80. They are telling me in a couple of months the smaller SUV will be out there. That's the GV70. I guess we're waiting to see if we get all the chips in that we're supposed to, the computer chips. But there are cars. I drove by Homer just 2 days ago. And I saw there were more cars there than the last time I had come there. So these Hyundais, these Genesis cars, they're coming in. They're the best. I mean, this technology is so terrific. Safe cars with Hyundai. I tell you all the technology they have in those beautiful Genesis cars, and they all are durable because they get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. And then there's the service you get with that product, and that's the thought process, the philosophy of the leader out there. His name, Chris True. You've heard me talk about Chris. He cares about all the people that are going to buy this product that they He wants them to be taken care of. So he throws in a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package on every new Hyundai and every new Genesis. They'll change your oil. They'll rotate your tires. They'll make sure your car is running at maximum efficiency. It's really cool to see the way they operate. There's a team that's been together for 13 or 14 years selling these great cars. Go see for yourself. Get on Lamar. Into Mississippi, it's Highway 78. Turn left at the very first exit, Craft Road. You'll have arrived. You'll be glad you did when you go to Homer Skelton Hyundai at Genesis of Olive Branch. We pause. When we come back, this will be a lot of fun. We are going to, for the next half hour, give you the top 5 national stories and the sports person of this first half year. Then we'll do local stories and the athlete or person in sports of the year. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. So stick around. This is Sports Time on Sports 56.
Same great shows.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays.
What's up? It's Sports 56 Happy Hour.
A new spot on the FM dial. Check out Sports 56 on our new FM home at 98.5.
Like, I don't know. Can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department. Traffic Operations.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Sunrise Buick GMC is having their annual tent sale and the selection or savings are bigger than ever. A huge selection to choose from, big discounts from factory rebates high as $6,000. It's okay if you've got slow credit. Sunrise has over $500 million available for immediate financing with interest low as 0%. An $18 million used car inventory. And remember, Sunrise specializes in cars and trucks under $10,000. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Savings and fun for all ages. The 33rd annual tent sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Halfway through our Thursday edition on a stormy Thursday afternoon. Halfway through the year, too, we're going to give our sports stories and our sports people of this first half year in a minute. This portion of the show brought to you by just what the doctor ordered, the Poppy's Pills. That's for Pilsner, a premium American Pilsner, the newest from Grind City Brewing. It's so good, it's already in Kroger and in liquor stores. This is terrific. It's sometimes you're going to come across a beer so smooth and crushable, it cures what ails you. Take 2 of these pills, and we guarantee you'll be calling for more. It's really a lighter beer. For those that like a lighter beer, like for grill outs or going to the beach or after golf, you will love this Pilsner. It's terrific. It's 6 years in the making. And again, it's taken off. Started at the brewery, and now you can get it everywhere, as I say, in Kroger and in liquor stores. Pop these pills, just what the doctor ordered. Couple of texts from earlier in the day. Thank you for texting in at 360-8255 on the NIL and former athletes. 2 guys came to mind, Brett Norsworthy, Joey Magnifico, and I still think he got robbed, and Xavier Crawford. And Xavier, you're right, X-Man, he'd have made some money.
I mentioned Derek Crawford.
Yeah, you did. You mentioned Derek. This is Xavier.
Xavier Crawford, X-Man, was the first big hat dance scholarship where I'm going reveal. And remember where he had his press conference?
Tell me. I just remember the game he had at Florida. That was pretty darn good.
Over on Airways at John Grisani's.
Oh, was it John Grisani's? Yeah, that's right. Now I do remember. I was just talking today about John Grisani's.
Yeah.
And
that was the first big kind of showy announcement that I remember in this area.
I didn't realize that was the first one. What about Master Blaster? Where did he go? Where did he
went
have
to
his?
Kentucky.
I know he went to.
I don't remember a show around it. I'm not saying he didn't have it. I just don't remember it.
I kind of thought he did, but
he may have.
I don't remember totally. If somebody does, text us again. We always love your input at 901-360-8255. So we are halfway through this year. We love doing this. And so
we didn't even do it last year because it would top 5 would have been COVID, 5, 4 COVID,
right.
3 COVID,
yeah, exactly.
2 COVID, 1 COVID.
Okay, so you want to start national?
Wherever you want, however
you want to start with
do
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Because Gabe, you know Dave has 7. You know he has 7.
No. I kind of do because I was going to say to you, my stories. I think this first half year has been so interesting. Phil's win, okay. And Baylor's dominance in the championship game in the Final Four, they didn't make it. That's how good my list is. No.
Both of those are in mine, safe in mine.
Okay.
I really wrestle with Phil as National Sports Person of the Year for the first half.
Wow. Well, I can understand that.
Okay,
seriously.
here we go.
I can truly understand. So you want me to go?
Yeah, please.
All right, number 5. The NIL becomes reality. And it was voted before the first. It took effect the first, so I figured I could get that in. I do believe it will change college sports as we know it. That could end up at the end of the year being the top story, depending upon all the ramifications.
And put a little star and flag these stories that you think will have shelf life. They'll have staying power.
That one will.
And when we do this at the end of the year, what kind of lasting power it has.
Along with that, we have another NIL deal for a Memphis Tiger.
Oh,
Jacoby Francis has a partnership with GoPuff, which is a delivery service.
GoPuff.
Delivery service for
Kleenex
snacks and Kleenex you could probably get. Just
Gabe,
someone runs to the
I don't mind this at
store
all.
for you.
I love it.
Take anything from me.
I love it. I love it. Go, baby, and I love Jacoby Francis. So
and
how about
the market will speak. I believe in the market.
And while we're going there, let's see. Somebody said Nix, the quarterback at Auburn, Patrick Nix signs an endorsement.
Patrick was his dad.
Yeah. Okay, Bo Nix, that's right.
Yeah.
The quarterback at Auburn signs an endorsement deal with Milo's Sweet Tea.
I like Milo's Sweet Tea.
So does he?
I saw the picture of him.
The
only thing I noticed, he has frosted tips on his hair. Did you guys?
Really?
Did you guys see that?
So do I. I got frosted tips.
Yeah, right.
I got a whole bunch of frost.
It's a good look for
I
you.
got permafrost.
Milo. So is he going to do like print advertising with a picture of him doing it, or is he going to do social
Instagram, social media?
So he on Instagram he could go, Hey, look at me. I'm drinking Milo's sweet tea.
Yes, he actually has done. I'll show you the picture at the break. He has done that already.
We are a long way from Charlie Thornton hosting the Bear Bryant Show and Bear drinking Cokes and eating potato chips.
Those chips, yeah.
Wow.
All right. So the NIL and the Ram, and that's going to be around for a while. 4, the Phoenix Suns rise. Their great turnaround and Chris Paul, and I do think they are going to win the NBA championship. So that is my number 4 story. So I had to have a golf story in there, and I'm not arguing with you about Phil. I think that is truly an incredible story. But for me, the golf story of the year is the crash of Tiger Woods and the fact that probably, most likely, I hope not, but
it's the
that
end.
his career is over.
Yeah.
So I have that as 3. Number 2, most people will have this as number 1, I am sure. Tom Brady wins another Super Bowl. And then number 1, the fact that we overcame COVID, that we played all these championships, we got all these games
It was
in.
moving a mountain, Dave.
And
That's a good take.
that we got the crowds back, that we can go to AutoZone, that we're going to go to the WGC.
We made progress. Think of where we were a year ago today, guys.
Yeah.
And think about this. Kind of the everyday sports got started back last year on Thursday night, July 23rd, with the Nationals and the Yankees. And we thought it was going to be fits and starts, that we'd play a day or two and then we'd miss games. And remember all those days that we didn't have sports last year? Then the PGA Tour started, but the everyday aspect of sport in 2020 really started July 23rd. From that day until now, from that day until the traditional, when it kind of goes slow and goes dark around Major League Baseball All-Star break, we've only missed 4 days without sports. One was late last August, the civil unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Right.
We had when the World Series didn't go 7 games, and that left a hole in the schedule. Election Day and the night before college basketball started in November. We've only gone 4 days since last July 23rd without something in sport, and we thought it would be a lot more than that.
Yeah, I think getting the games back to the crowds,
big.
That's to me. That's the number 1 story. Okay,
right,
your
Gabe.
list. Oh, Gabe's
Let Gabe
go.
Oh, guys.
Yeah.
I have bad news.
What's that?
I am very unprepared.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had a list or not.
No, that's all right.
I probably should have included you on the reminder text. I'm sorry, Gabe. I didn't mean to do you like that. I didn't know if you were. All right, number 5 for me. It was in this calendar year, and it feels like he dominates every calendar, but it's number 5, what Alabama did to Ohio State. I mean, just totally take them apart with Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
It was in January, but it kind of starts the year for kind of all things Bama. Number 4, the Tiger Woods wreck, and we know – I'm glad that is just 4th because we know what it would have been had it turned out differently.
Yes,
it would have been one of the stories of our life. Number 3 for me is it's Baylor. It's Scott Drew. I don't know what they would have done if we had had a tournament in 2020, but we didn't. I know what they did in 2021, and they cut the nets down. Number 2 for me, Phil's PGA. Out of nowhere, held on
oldest
Sunday.
guy ever to win a major.
Yeah, held on, pushed across the finish line by that raucous crowd in South Carolina. And number 1 for me, TB12 at 43. Not just Super Bowl Sunday, but the whole playoff run, all on the road. Now, it was in front of empty stadiums, but it was still at Lambeau. It was still at tough places to win, and written off during the middle of the year when they were 7-5 to win it all again. TB12, number 1.
What if game had he had to play in front of that crowd at Lambeau, or the week before? Where were they the week before?
Week before they were in Washington.
No, that wasn't that tough.
Where were they the week before?
I'm trying to remember their playoff run. I think it might have been different had fans been allowed to be in there.
I think it could have been.
Yeah,
And
but
then
it is what it is. They all had to play under those circumstances.
And then to play Kansas City at home.
That's right. Yeah.
New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's right.
Orleans.
And so they had in that dome. Are you kidding me? it would have been a lot different in my estimation.
I think
but
so.
They all had to play the under the same rules, so
But he did it.
I get it. All right, so my person of the year, my athlete of the year, sports person, however you want to, but it's Brady.
It's Brady.
It's the 7th ring. He's the GOAT. He's the best of all time. He proved it there. We used to debate. You remember the long debates? Who needed who more? Did Belichick need Brady or did Brady need Belichick? Well, it's pretty clear Brady didn't need Belichick.
Didn't last year and made it work with Bruce Arians, and they'll be around this year. But I have Tom Brady as well. And he can only add 2 more of this for staying power at the end of the year. All right, my Alabama story is not gonna hold because they're going to do something else in the fall and something's going to top it. Tigers wreck. Does it hold to the end of the year?
If he never plays again, it will hold. It'll be a major story forever.
Baylor's shelf life, does that hang on into the year in the top 10? I think so.
I think so. It was so down, and we did the body of work, and you know what? Baylor may be the last 3 years the best body of work for any college basketball team. I guess it would be between those two finalists.
NIL stays around. Your NIL.
NIL stays for a long time.
It could take an ugly turn.
If Phoenix wins the world championship, that's a major story.
Oh, yeah.
I think historically we'll always remember COVID and when we came back to crowds. When we
what
remember
if we got locked down again?
Oh gosh!
What if we're back out there?
If that happens again, then it won't.
Yeah.
But let's just hope that, thanks to Moderna and Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer, that never happens again. We all hope and pray that is the case. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll do the same thing for local stories. So here's a little pre-advance for you, Gabe Kuhn. Just think of 2. Just think of 2. Your favorite 2 stories locally and your sports person of the year. I don't want to put too much pressure on you. You did go to the U of M. I know you can be quick thinking. This portion of the show brought to you by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and that very famous tankless water heater. That's the new technology. It's so good you never run out of hot water. And the honest-to-goodness truth is you save money because you only heat the water you use, so your gas bill goes down every month, and you never run out of the hot water. You could be running the washing machine, a dishwasher, and somebody else taking a shower. You get in, you never run out of hot water. It's the coolest thing ever. Plus, truth is, if you were to keep a old water heater, most of them, when they're new, are about 65% efficient. And they get worse as time goes on. You get a tankless water heater from Conway, they're up to 98% efficient, and that lasts forever. And John's making it so affordable right now. You can get a Conway tankless water heater for $79 a month, or this caveat. John will just give you $250 for the old tank water heater. No more worrying about a tank bursting in your attic either. There's no tank. It's a win-win for everybody. When you deal with Conway, just look at about 8,000 5-star reviews from Google. They are the best. Just make the call, 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Our top local stories and our local sports person of the year comes your way right after this.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solution.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder. Sons.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear it's time to trade up to a Kia at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. What you got for me?
We got it all for you, Randy, at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. 2021 Kia Forte, $129 a month. 2021 Kia Soul, $137 a month. Both at $39.79 due at signing. And built in America, 2021 Kia K5, $169 per month, only $29.99 due at signing, and all 36-month lease.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with the leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, or gosh, you could be from anywhere, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month lease, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte ME 3716, MSRP 20,930, Soul M71 44,946, MSRP 20,515, K5 MGO 21,674, MSRP 26,170, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit, warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Visit Frontier Western Store this summer to check out tons of new products. Frontier added so many new items in their women's boutique. There are daily arrivals with thousands of on-trend tops, jeans, and pants in stock at amazing prices. And guys, Frontier's your #1 Carhartt store. There's no one around with a larger selection of everyday fits and workwear. Wrangler and Ariat clothing also available. Frontier recently remodeled their entire store and expanded the world-famous boot showroom. Now there are even more dress and work boots in stock. After Ariat boots, then you've got to check out Frontier. There are over 1,000 pair of Ariat boots alone, and thousands more in other brands such as Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, and Twisted X. As if the selection isn't reason enough, there's Frontier's low prices. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so when you're ready for your next pair, you know right where to come. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
Memphis's hometown airline, Southern Airways, is offering a sizzling summer deal. For this July only, flights from Memphis to Harrison-Branson, Hot Springs, and El Dorado, Arkansas have a promotional fare starting at just $19. Fly over the interstate traffic and bypass the bridge delays on one of Southern's flights to Arkansas. Catch a concert in El Dorado, hit the lake in Hot Springs, or fly to Harrison and make the easy drive to Branson or even to Fayetteville. Flying Southern is easy with no TSA screening hassles and free parking at Signature Flight Support. Don't forget, Southern service to Destin has returned for its 9th summer season. So if you're planning a trip to the Emerald Coast, visit iflysouthern.com to reserve your seats today.
At Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We are having fun with our top stories of the year. Let's get to it before we run out of time. This is such a good list, again, locally, so newsy that Katrina Merriweather, the new U of M coach for women, and I think she's going to make an impact. She's not even in it. And the other thing, this was news, it wasn't sports. Dr. Rudd announcement that he was going to leave at the end of this year. And here's the other one.
There could be 10 U of M stories.
It could be. And the Redbirds and Memphis making the minor league cut. I wasn't sure the time frame.
January
on
1
that.
or was it fall? I don't remember.
I couldn't remember. So I did not include those. So my number 5 is Ryan Silverfield's last December class, February class, the whole class of this coming year. Their high-ranking national. They're high-ranking within the American Athletic Conference, and him being able to keep continuity by keeping both of his coordinators. That is my number 5 story. My number 4 story is the Memphis Americans indoor soccer team is going to return. A little different league, not sure the skill level. worried because it's supposed to start in December, and I've only seen 2 cities so far that have been announced. But the fact that we're going to get indoor soccer back in Memphis, I think that's number 4. Number 3, Penny stays.
I have Penny 3, the Penny drama here at the end of the first half.
Well, I got to combine. Penny stays and Larry Brown comes. How's
okay,
that?
well, just Penny drama for me.
Penny drama
here at the end of the year, or end of the first half.
That's good. Number 2 story, Grizz make the playoffs. They got to win games to do that in the play-in and then win a game in the playoffs.
I had Grizzlies run, kind of all-encompassing.
That's good. And then number 1 for me, Tigers win the NIT.
I have it in there, but I don't have it won.
Okay.
All right. We'll get to sports people of the year next. All right. Number 5 for me, Tigers win the NIT. I have it as 5th. Number 4, last night, Mississippi State. That's local. They won a national championship in Omaha. Penny drama at 3. Here's one you left out. Remember when it looked like they could be the one to not get to 72 games? The Grizzlies' COVID problem, when they were missing night after night, postponed.
That's right. That's why they had to play so many games in the second half.
That kicked off all that from March on after the All-Star break on. That's number 2. Number 1, that Grizzlies run. I'll start with sports people. It's quiet. It's steady. They don't tout it enough, I think, and he's got work to do in this second half coming up soon with draft and free agency. Zach Kleiman.
Oh, he hasn't really struck out yet unless Winslow's a bust. Then that would be the only black mark against him at this point.
But so far, so really good.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, the fact that they've made the play, this is supposed to be a 3-4 year rebuild. And look at how quickly Zach Kleiman has done it. I give him tons of credit. I think that's great. I'm going to go in a little different direction. I'm going to save it so that we can get Gabe. What have you got?
My top 2 stories of the year. Easily the Penny drama. And I think you have to add Larry Brown in there.
Sure.
After 40 years of being hinted at, he's finally going to be at the University of Memphis. So the Penny drama would be 2. And then my top 1 has to be the Grizzlies and making a run into the playoffs. And we know they had the COVID issues early in the season. But I will say, I think top sports moment of the year, you could argue, is the play-in game Grizzlies versus Golden State,
sure could.
And watching Steph Curry go down at the hands of John Morant. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was probably, if we're talking locally, the best sports moment in Memphis.
That could be a defining moment in the career
passing of the torch
of John Morant. I think that's spot on. Have you got a player, person of the year, sports person?
I do not.
Ja?
Okay, all right. So I decided to. This person is from here. She didn't necessarily do her magic here.
That counts.
But my sports person of the year is Rachel Heck.
That's really good.
Rachel Heck won the Pac-12 golf championship and then turned around and won the NCAA golf women's national championship. That doesn't happen ever. And she's done it. And she's going to end up being a great LPGA player. She actually was in town and went to see her sister. Might have caddied for her.
I heard her on these airways with Greg and Eli early in the week, didn't I?
She was. Was she?
Mm-hmm. I know. Okay. I did.
Okay. Well, I know she was back home, and she was going to watch her sister play in the Bubba Conley, which was going on at Miramichi, by the way. And I think
they might need a boat out there today.
Oh, I know. Yeah, It's definitely, well, if they got it all in this morning, because it was really pretty good until what? We went on the air today, pretty much. But Rachel Heck, she's my sports person of the year. So between Zach Kleiman and Rachel Heck, that's for sure. All right, so what holds? Will the Americans hold? Will there really be a team?
Well,
that won't hold.
Penny drama won't, but a Penny story will.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Penny...
He's not going anywhere.
The Penny story on his way to a national championship, whatever that could be.
The calendar kind of gets him.
Yeah.
Grizzlies COVID. Please don't hold.
Yeah, please don't hold, for sure. You always wanted to get rich, didn't you? Now you can. Sheldon Rosengarten, Hugh Mallory with Mark Spensdorf Realtors have just listed 5341 Rich Road on almost an acre in the heart of East Memphis. And while close to numerous private schools, it's within walking distance of Richmond Elementary. That's a big plus. This is a breathtaking one-story mid-century modern with walls of windows overlooking the sparkling pool and really park-like rear grounds. I mean, it's gorgeous. This type property is like hen's teeth, and it doesn't come on the market very often. So if you're interested in getting rich, call Hugh Mallory. That number is 497-9756. Or if you'd like more info, or if you like to hear your house on this radio, just call my guys. Sheldon, 483-0546, or MemphisRelocate.com. That's the email address to go to. They will definitely get the job done with Sheldon. That is 2 hours in the books. When we come back, it'll be time to talk Tigers, NIL news, and in Penny Stay and all that Penny drama. That's with Greg Gaston in just a minute.
Hey, sports fans, if you're looking for auto body work for your car or truck, 3A Collision in Bartlett has you covered. We are factory certified with 13 different manufacturers, including GM, Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Infiniti, Nissan, Acura, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, and Fiat. We're the only GM certified collision repair shop in the greater Memphis area. 3A Collision is proud to be voted Memphis Best Collision Repair by the Commercial Appeal 3 years in a row. 3A Collision specializes in performing proper repairs using specific manufacturer guidelines. We're a locally family-owned business, and we genuinely care about the well-being of our customers. Certified repairs are safe repairs. Why trust anyone but the best? At 3A Collision, no need for an appointment. We always have trained and courteous estimators available for you. 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. At 3A Collision, we're all about the best customer service and quality of our workmanship. 3A Collision, 6420 Summer Avenue.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together. So the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Swerving, speeding, and reckless driving can leave you in your own dust. Drag racing has its consequences. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. So slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished established a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Hour to go on this Thursday. 1 hour to go. We take you to 6 o'clock. Stay with us. Be a part of it at 901-360-8255. One-stop shopping for text and calling. This hour of our show brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales down on Goodman Road in DeSoto County, where they are very, very proud to serve this area from DeSoto County. The entire area, the surrounding area, DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. All the cars test driven, all checked out thoroughly, safely, checked out from bumper to bumper, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot, they'll go find it for you. No shortcuts taken, where they treat you like family by kind, courteous employees, laid back atmosphere, no pressure. No high-pressure sales whatsoever, just a laid-back, down-home environment. But they care about your time, and they want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience within 45 minutes. Find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork completed, and you're out of there in 45 minutes in time to do it over your lunch hour or dodging the rain right now. They know we live in a world today that time really matters, and that's why they keep it simple at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience. We visit with Greg Gaston every Thursday afternoon. Next Thursday, Greg's going to be on vacation. We'll still be talking Tigers next Thursday afternoon. It's brought to you by South Hall Cafe, Mid-South Hobbies, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, 3A Collisions, and Neil's Bar and Grill.
Yes, and we got lots to chat about with him. By the way, just to verify, tonight was supposed to be Throwback Thursday. This was going to be the Chicks night tonight. I've been on the Twitter for the Redbirds to see, because I know, like, the Levitt Shell, their concert series was canceled for tonight. I don't know if the Redbirds, they have not announced that they are canceling for tonight for sure. Tomorrow they got fireworks. Tonight they're supposed to have the throwback night to take on the Jumbo Shrimp. Chicks and
one
Shrimp.
One of the oxymorons of all time, isn't it? Jumbo Shrimp.
Jumbo Shrimp and Chicks. Sounds like a good summer night, doesn't it?
All right, by the hour, it looks pretty rough tonight.
It does.
At Third and Union.
It really does.
I was planning on going.
It looked like it might get a little rough for the Tigers this week. Greg Gaston, we had Penny not talking, and Penny being interviewed by the Orlando Magic, and a very serious contender out of those meetings. And then he's staying, and then Larry Brown is coming, and this turns out to be a pretty cool thing. And by the way, Jalen Duran, who is the reclass kid that is going to give tomorrow his final five, he has now passed Imoni Bates as the #1 recruit on 24/7 Sports. If Memphis were to get him, Greg Gaston, they would be a top 10 in the preseason poll by almost any poll
Here we go,
you could
Greg.
imagine.
There's no doubt, guys. And they are in on this kid. And I would think in years past, because I've said it, when it's come down to one of the big-time recruits out there, although obviously the Tigers were able to land James Wiseman, with all the options now, with the G League and the Ignite team and all these elite teams that they can now play and make money, and also the options around the world where they can go and make money, it would be a no-brainer. I would be sitting here saying, there's no chance he's coming to Memphis. There's no chance he's playing college ball. But now, it's all different with NIL. And what I heard with what they were able to present to him when he was here recently was pretty incredible as far as that is concerned. So there's going to be a lot of options out there for these young men like Imani Bates, like Jalen Duren, where they could go to school for that 1 year, not ready to go professional, not ready to start their big boy careers. They just want to have a little fun, play basketball, maybe make a run for an NCAA championship and still bank some coin. So, guys, it is not out of the question that Memphis or Kentucky, Miami, who's ever in the running for Duren could land the kid as opposed to him automatically jumping into the G League or professional ball.
I go back and I think we sort of spelled it out. Last year, who was it a better year for? Was it a better year for a guy like Musa Cisse, or was it Jalen Green that went G League Elite? Okay, so G League Elite guys, here's what they did. He got $500,000, right? So I'll give him that. But he ended up playing in gyms with nobody against basically a couple of G League teams. I don't think they took private airplanes to go. I don't think they stayed in really nice hotels. I'm not sure they even had a big budget for food. I know he wasn't dealing with guys his age. Almost everybody in those G League teams are older. Couldn't have been a great experience for Jalen Green. He's hoping to get to the NBA this year. For Musa Cisse, he came in and he got to play with guys his age, made good friends, played in front of crowds, at least at the NIT and stuff when they had crowds. But a guy will get to play in front of 16 to 20,000 people every night if they go to a major college basketball program. Oh, by the way, they're going to be on major TV every night, and they're staying in hotels, they're flying private. It's a heck of a life for that 1 year. And now that you get paid, wouldn't you rather do that than be a G League elite guy?
I think, Wolo, the better comparison, because in hindsight's 2020 with Musa Cisse, the offers weren't there to go play on the team that Jalen Green played, but if they were, and you look at Musa's struggles, you wonder if it wouldn't have been a better option for him to go if he had gotten that offer, which he did not.
He did not.
I think the better comparison would be Jalen Green to Cade Cunningham.
Okay, that's better.
Cade Cunningham,
there you go. That's perfect.
Yeah, because Cade Cunningham, he loved going to Oklahoma State. He loved being a part of the whole college scene. His product was showcased, like you said, in all these national games, more exposure than what Jalen Green was able to get. And right now, when you look at mock drafts, Cunningham is ahead of Green. Now, is he ahead of him because he got all that exposure? Well, he's ahead of him because he looks like he's going to be a better player, at least on paper. But your point is well taken when you make the comparison to those two guys, because Jalen Green has actually said that he feels if he went to college, he would actually be in a better position right now. And he's talking about the mock drafts, that he thinks if he was in college, he would have been better than Cunningham, and they would be looking at him as the number one overall.
Well, that's a good lesson to be learned right there for
now,
college hoops.
But here's the other thing. Jalen Green's got some bank. He's got some money already put away, whereas obviously Cade Cunningham, he's going to have his money. He's going to get his money, but technically did not have that money his freshman year of college, whereas Jalen Green was making the coin. So
I can't tell anybody what to do with their money, but at the end of their basketball lives, if it all goes idyllic, what kind of money are we talking about?
$500,000. That's what he got. So
at the end of a career when he's made $300 million?
Not even at the end of the career. If Cade Cunningham goes number one, and let's just say Jalen Green, I haven't even really seen where he is on the mocks, but if he's 7 or 8,
no, he's higher. He's like top 3, 4.
Okay,
so I say he's 4. The first year, Cade Cunningham makes that money up.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's really a moot point, because now with the NIL, you're going to get that money. I don't know if it'll be $500,000.
Cade Cunningham had shredded his knee at Stillwater. You got a different dynamic, but he didn't.
That's
right.
also
true.
Also a factor, no question about it. And then how many times do you hear, not all of them, but you'll hear athletes say, man, I wish I had gone to school for the year. Not, I wish I'd gone for 4 years and got my degree and all, but I wish I had gone and just enjoyed that atmosphere for a while. Why was I in a rush
Kevin Durant
to begin my
constantly
professional
talks about
career?
it. Kevin Durant
Yes.
constantly. I think Derrick Rose, if he could, have what he has now, but also redo it, he would have stayed around longer. There are so many, but again, I don't want to tell anybody how to spend their money.
Right. I agree.
But I prefer college because I'm a college basketball fan.
Yeah, we're a little biased in that regard, but now if you make the argument where the money is anywhere kind of close,
I mean Zion,
why
that 1 year at Duke really helped him.
It sure did. And he got to play in front of huge crowds and become a national phenomenon and blow out a shoe, which got him a bigger shoe contract than he ever would have had.
And that Duke brotherhood, you don't get that with the Saskatoon brotherhood.
No.
I don't even know the names of the teams in the G League.
And you could be exposed.
I'm not sure
Saskatoon
in Canada has one of those games.
I think they're more hockey. But, I mean, you could be exposed very quickly, too, and then all of a sudden you're disgruntled. You feel, my gosh, maybe I wasn't ready to do this. I'm not saying that didn't happen, obviously, with Jalen Green. He was really, really good. But, yes, it goes back to what you just said, Wolo, and my point earlier. The landscape has completely changed now. And unless the NBA changes the rule where you can go right to the NBA, which I think they should, but right now you can't. So why not, if you're going to be able to make money, and pretty good money, I would imagine, for the top elite players out there because of name, image, and likeness, why not continue your childhood, teenage years, not so fast to grow up and start doing things that adults do in their professional lives. Have fun while also being able to make money. It seems like it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I don't know the kind of money. Seriously, I'll really be interested, and I don't know if they'll let us know what kind of numbers there are out there. But, Kendall Johnson today got a deal. Landers Nolly got a deal today. Gabe Kuhn just walked away, but he told us the third guy, and I can't remember who it was.
Jacoby Francis.
Jacoby Francis.
Deals
are what is that?
Wolo,
Yeah.
De'Aaron King last night made a couple of deals. Boom, right off the bat, he's making $20,000 off those deals. That's right off the bat. De'Aaron King.
De'Aaron King, the former Houston guy that went to Miami. Hey, 20 grand?
20 grand. Already. That's
real money.
That's just the beginning.
Scratching the surface.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. I'm happy for these guys.
And then he and Mackenzie Milton both co-founded an NIL sort of platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing that De'Aaron King got done.
But, Greg, there's going to be blowback. I mean, De'Aaron King, I was with you today. If he has the game, I think he will have opening afternoon against Alabama. He may not want to open his social media.
Well, yeah, that's an issue. That's the positives and the negatives of social media, right? That if he has that type of game, that could be the case. But I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. Some like it. Some like the jump into
Jet's still good.
Yeah, exactly. Some like to jump into it feet first, boiling water. They don't care. They're going to go in there and they're going to do what they do. But what it also tells me is that while the NCAA, we talked about this, Brett, when Brett visited me today on middays, was while the NCAA has thrown up its arms and going, schools just do what you want to do because we're not prepared. We knew it was coming, but we're not prepared. Yet look at some of these student athletes. Already they have deals. Already they have had this stuff in motion now. And I think, Gabe, you may have mentioned it earlier with Johnny about how some of these student athletes, man, they are really intelligent. They know how to market themselves, especially in social media aspects. So they're more prepared, seemingly, than the NCAA was for this.
And to see Mackenzie Milton and De'Aaron King, they're doing work with non-fungible tokens, the things that you can buy with cryptocurrency online, sort of a new wave of
that's too hard for me to figure
trade-in
out.
card type of deal. But to see what they're doing with their platform and trying to sort of create these relationships with other guys and start platforms, start companies, to start their entrepreneurial life, it's interesting.
Face it, guys, the 20-year-olds are smarter than we are.
They're much smarter than we are. How about Spencer Rattler coming out and saying that, and Gabe, correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know if he means all of his money, but he says what he makes this year from name, image, and likeness, because he's getting ready, obviously, for the NFL after that, he is giving to charities. He's giving it back.
Wow.
How about that?
I would say to him, keep it until you get that pro contract, then you can give it away.
Yes,
that's what I would say to him. All right, so the NIL, that's a new era, and we're making up stuff as we go along here. We'll all figure it out. We'll see what kind of money they get. I only wish them the very best. Then we had the drama, and that's a good way of putting it, the Penny drama this week, which culminated in Penny stays and Larry Brown comes in, and that's a pretty good combination.
I think, and maybe I probably shouldn't say it, but I think we are headed toward a Calipari era. I think we're headed toward a run, guys. I really, really believe that we are. Penny's here. He'll probably be a coach in the NBA one day. He talked about it the other day. But I think now with Larry Brown to be able to lean on with his experience, with the recruits they're getting, with the ability to sell this coaching staff and this program as the gateway to the NBA, having a mind like Cody Topper on that staff as well, the facilities they have. Look, it better happen, but I believe it's going to happen. I think we're about to see a great run for Memphis Tigers basketball.
Yeah, I think starting next spring, and needs to. And I said this yesterday, Greg, and I don't mean it mean-minded. Almost to the point. I know this program, even John Calipari felt like he had to constantly sell it, even including the giveaways in the terrace level with the flat screens and things like that.
Right.
You have to work hard, and I know Penny Hardaway, he has and he will, but maybe a little less smoke and a little more winning.
Well, look, we love him because he shoots from the hip, right? He gives us great material for all our shows. It's easy when you have a guy like Penny who doesn't keep it close, close to the hip. He goes out and he says what's on his mind. But yes, he has put himself into a position now, and he's already done it, and now he's even done it more. He's almost doubled down on it, that they have to go out there and they have to produce. They have to win and win big. And I think they have the ability to do so. I thought they took a nice step where they ended up at the end of last year, but that means nothing going into this season. They got players. They have recruits. They have transfers. They have Larry Brown.
They have support from the fans.
If they get Duran, they're a top 10 team.
Exactly. But as Brett said, talk's cheap. You got to produce. But I thought Penny did things last year as a coach that showed me that he's a pretty smart guy. He X's and O's. This guy knows what he's doing. He also wasn't he was a coach that was willing to change, right? He changed his philosophy on offense. I think they did more things like Cody had installed, and then they went ahead and changed some things.
They changed,
exactly, and it worked. So he's willing to, and that's why he brings in a guy like Larry Brown. He's willing to learn and listen because he knows he's still young, basically, in his coaching career. But yes, there is pressure, not the pressure where, again, Penny's got a lot different stature with this university than any other coach would have. But it is year 4, so you expect to go to the NCAA tournament. Again, it's not NCAA tournament or bust, he loses his job. But there will be a lot of disgruntled people if they don't get to the dance. But he would be the most disgruntled. He takes it as hard as anybody. And that's another reason why I really respect Penny Hardaway. This isn't one of those deals where, I'll move on, I'll go play golf, I'll count my millions. He is upset when they don't get the job done because when he says something, he wants to fulfill those promises.
Right. He could be playing golf. This is his retirement age, and he's working his tail off. I tell you, he gets into the office at 5 o'clock every day. He does, and he goes over video, and then at 7 o'clock his team meets, and they go through drills, and they're training right now. So, in 2 or 3 days ago, whatever it was, he was in 3 different cities in the same day recruiting. So the guy is working his tail off. There's no question. So let's just to talk about what you see qualities in a coach, because I really believe Penny did a heck of a job at the end of last year. That team came together to win a championship. No, it wasn't the NCAA, but he was playing against good teams and good coaches in the NIT, and the team got better. They developed, and they played a brand of basketball that was shared and ended up being a championship. And a lot of it was defense. I think in basketball, one of the main ingredients of a good coach is defense, because that has to be togetherness by 5 guys. Memphis was one of the best really, they've been one of the better defensive teams in the country since he took over. Adjustments, halftime, Penny's adjustments, Memphis usually gets back into games.
Stuff.
And that was the third thing I was going to say. Inbounds plays. Look at the way Memphis inbounds the ball after a timeout or in critical moments. Those three areas are, I think, what makes a good coach. And Penny's been good in all of those. And in particular, last year, at the end of the year, this team came together. Now, you're right. What have you done for me lately? He hasn't made the NCAA. He's got a good group this year. He's got to make the NCAA. I'm not saying he doesn't. But I'm telling you, I've seen qualities that already tell me he's a good coach.
I agree with everything you said. That was a great assessment. And the other thing you could throw in is these players buy into it. They love playing for him. They love playing for the University of Memphis. Look at the guys that came back. Yeah, they lost some guys, but it wasn't unexpected who they lost, because that's the world we live in now with the transfer portal. But they kept the glue. They kept the nucleus of that team. Because these guys love what's happening at Memphis. They think they can win big. They have the confidence in Penny Hardaway. He has the confidence in them. Yeah, it's a love fest. It's a little kumbaya, Brett, but that's good. That's the first thing. You want to make sure that the players are bought into what you're doing and that you have the confidence in those players. And now with these new additions, hopefully we can see the gel early. That has been the issue so far. One of the issues with Penny, right? Slow start. Can they gel early enough that they win some of those big non-conference games early, those games that they have with the SEC that'll be on the schedule this year?
Get those games in Brooklyn, because those are winnable games.
And that's where you establish RPI. RPI really is set by the time you get to 20th of January. You can't move it a lot.
Because look at the conference right now. The conference isn't as strong as it's been. Hopefully Wichita State can get back to where they once were. SMU, when Larry Brown was the coach, they're pretty darn good. And Jankovic has done a nice job as well, but you need them to be strong. Cincinnati was a disaster. They need to be strong.
They look like they're going to be a disaster next year, too.
Yeah, and that's tough, because that's where you could also pick up some RPI wins. But you're right, Brett. If you don't have it in the league, you got to get it in the non-conference portion of your schedule.
Get it early.
And normally you play those games, right, early in the season.
Mm-hmm. All right, last thing for Greg Gaston as we talk Tigers. It's interesting to me, and this is for both you guys. It's early, right? This is the first day of the NIL. But
yes.
3 Tiger football players have deals. 1 Tiger basketball player has a deal. I'm a little surprised at that ratio. Not that that's not going to turn around, and we don't know the numbers, but honestly, wouldn't you have thought basketball would be the first ones to sign?
Well, there's a lot more football players, and like I said, it seems like a lot of these student athletes who are in position to possibly make money off their name, image, and likeness. Some of these guys and gals have been ahead of the curve. They've been waiting for it. They've been ready for July 1st. So maybe it was just a matter of the numbers, that you have a lot more football players, so no surprise that you got 3 guys right off the bat, whereas you have less basketball players and you have 1. But I still expect some of those basketball players to land some pretty good deals. Probably, I don't have a guess on how much, but pretty lucrative, I would think. And we'll see what happens with football as far as NIL, but I think they'll also do well. I would not be surprised if you get a player or 2 from the women's basketball team and some of the other sports as well, making smaller deals. But, yeah, I'm not surprised that you have a few more football than basketball right off the bat on day one.
I know how to stir up business. Go get 25-15 against Tennessee, and you'll have people calling.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
No,
yeah, you
no
produce,
doubt.
right?
All right,
yeah, they want the production.
Have a happy 4th of July. I guess you're going away next week?
Yeah, going to see my grandchild that lives outside the Memphis area. Of course, I got 2 here that live in Memphis, so I'm looking forward to being able to do that. Get a little R&R.
All right, Grandpa, you enjoy, and we'll see you a week from today.
Sounds great. Well, 2 weeks from
2 weeks.
today.
I mean, 2 weeks
from today.
Okay. That's you get old. Like
I got
me.
the schedule.
Dave's
gone next
tough.
week. Greg's gone next week. Gabe and I'll hold the fort down. Thank you, Greg.
That's what we love.
Brett has it under control.
That's what we love
You got it,
about
man.
the young guys. They take over when the old guys leave. And Talking Tigers brought to you by South Hall Cafe, Mid-South Hobbies, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, 3A Collisions, and Neil's Bar and Grill. We thank them because we do enjoy talking every week with our friend Greg Gaston. I'll remind everybody this portion of the show is also brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, and that's also where you get the Genesis cars. Great place, right there on the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78. There's a sales team that's waiting for you there. They've been led by Chris True, and there's great guys. Rick Fink is there. Don't forget Mr. Melton, who does the pre-owned cars. There's David Richardson. There's John Burnside. There's all these folks that have been together for a long time. They know the product. They know their customers. They know their needs, and they take care of you. It starts with the philosophy of a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package. They do that because they want to take care of you. That's on the house, where they'll change your oil. They'll rotate your tires. They'll make sure your car is running perfecto. That's their goal. And you know these are durable cars. They take care of them so well, they last forever. And every new Hyundai and every new Genesis car gets a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. So please, head into Mississippi, exit 1, Craft Road, turn left, see Chris True, and see that gang. Let them take care of you at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. We'll let you know what's going on all over the place. What's happening in Detroit? Oh, no. Brett's pick, Bryson DeChambeau, he got into it with his caddy. They had a caddy fight, you could say. I can't see how he's even going to be able to operate. We'll update you on what's happening in Michigan when we come back.
Sports 56 mornings with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Zane. Weekday mornings from 7 till 10 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you. Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
AC trouble? Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60. Then this year, Air Doctors is the official HVAC contractor for St. Jude Dream House. Air Doctors installed the St. Jude Dream House new Train high-efficiency equipment. Get your service from the best. AirDoctorsOfMemphis.com. Call 901-598-HVAC.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back. Hey, this is not sports news, but it's good news. You know, the Memphis Tourism and Memphis Sports Council sponsors of ours, and they send me news every once in a while. This is cool. AutoZone National Sales Meeting is going to be held at the new and renovated Renaissance Convention Center. It will be coming in September of this year. It will be the single largest meeting hosted in Memphis since the start of the global pandemic. It will generate a $2 million economic impact.
Downtown
Thank
needs
you,
it.
AutoZone, and thank you, Memphis Tourism, putting that thing together. It's going to make downtown dancing in September.
Now let's get the bridge open.
Yeah.
Sounds like about 3 more weeks on that. Been 7, but wasn't that bad today. It really wasn't.
You know, we have a production guy, Zeke, who has said they've on the Tennessee side, they opened up a second lane that made it a little easier to get in, or to get out, I guess I should say. He says that it is much easier now.
Oh, getting out.
Trucks, by the way, are going to Helena and
getting out.
Dyersburg.
No issue. Coming over from Arkansas, but
That's a
today
little worse.
it wasn't too bad.
Good.
Maybe we're getting closer. Maybe.
So I went to look at the leaderboard at the Rocket Mortgage. They had a big delay. They're back on now. They're playing as we speak. So the leader is Davis Thompson, who is I don't even know that I see what his ranking is.
I know nothing
Davis
about
Thompson. Because they're giving me the ranking on
I know
all
nothing
these
about the
other
whole
guys.
leaderboard.
Here is Brandon Hagee is in second. He is
Oh, this
7
field.
under. So Thompson is 9 under. Hagee is 7. His world ranking 187. Thompson, they're not even giving me a ranking on. Then there is Tom Lewis. He's from England. World ranking of 132. And then Seamus Power, who, of course, is Irish. I know that name. His world ranking, 159. Then there is J.J. Spawn. His world ranking, 199. He's 6 under. I mean, the only name that's 5 under that is tied for 6th, Jason Day.
Kevin Kesner, we know that name, but no superstar. Matthew Wolf, not far behind. But
No.
That's the feel they have now. Since you slandered Bryson DeChambeau before the break, he's made a birdie.
He was even par when I looked.
Not any longer.
He's one under? Well, I don't know if he's going to be able to navigate without a good smart
Dave, you
caddy.
can remember a time when George Steinbrenner owned the Yankees.
Yeah.
And he would fire managers like most people change shoes.
Right. Well, he's not his son.
He's not the son today said,
I know.
I'm not my dad. I'm not going to – Aaron Boone's not going anywhere.
Right.
Everybody would have been fired for a little while last night with the Yankees. He may have rehired them all by morning, but they blew one last night. Can you have a June 30th loss that really derails you? Because if you can, the Yankees had it last night.
I don't think you can have one, but I think you could go through a stretch like the Cubs have. When you have had a lead in your division, and then you go in a little bit of a tailspin, and then you're going to take on the team that's been playing a bunch of bums, and they come, now you got to go to their ballpark, and you're getting pounded by them night in, night out, then you score 7 runs in the first inning and lose the game 15-7, that to me is a season-ending kind of game.
Well, they both had it happen last night. Both scored 7 in the first and both lose. And I think the Yankees' biggest issue is they're in a division with at least 2 teams that are just clearly better and one that's about the same in Toronto. But Tampa Bay and Boston are just better than the Yankees right now, and that's a lot of money spent, it always is, on a 4th-place team.
Whew. But they make so much money. What is the Yes Network worth?
Fill in the blank.
Yeah. Really?
So
So
all you want,
yeah.
like the Cubs and their TV deal.
Well, Cubs TV deal is pretty good.
The Dodgers have a great TV deal, but the Dodgers win consistently.
Well, and you know what? You know what the common denominator of all those three teams are?
Money.
They
market.
They spend it.
Yeah, they
I
spend.
mean, the Cubs, until now, the Ricketts are getting tight on it, but the Cubs were spending money. Spending a lot of money.
And this afternoon, the Red Sox win again, 51-31. That not many had them being that good this year. They're kind of doing it on a tight budget.
They were bad. Is that true that the Red Sox owner, your buddy,
it was national reports.
Had a cash flow problem?
Yeah, it was national reports, and that's when he sold some of Liverpool to LeBron, that he needed to get a little more liquid.
Wow. How much money does LeBron already have? Is LeBron over a billionaire already?
I don't know, but it's way up there. I would say it's pretty liquid. I mean, he can get to it. And, around sports, a lot of different businesses last year, that person's primary business, like Tillman Fertitta, well, he's in the restaurant business. He has to have people coming in to keep that cash flow going, to keep the fun stuff going. Well, it all stopped for everyone. I mean, it was doomsday for people.
Yeah.
And you're seeing some real struggles out of it, but something I thought would happen didn't get close to happening. I really thought we would have a team or two across professional sports, whether it was hockey or NBA or Major League Baseball, not the NFL. That I thought that one was insulated from it. But I thought we'd have somebody contract. We didn't get close to that.
No. The only contraction we saw was minor league baseball.
They did,
and they did. I wonder, and I'm not trying to raise alarms, because I think it's still healthy enough here. But these leagues like the USL Championship, because MLS, I think, has enough deep pockets.
Stung.
They got hurt, but they got deep pockets because they ended up attracting pretty wealthy businessmen to come and get involved and get stadiums made and things of that nature. USL Championship, though, I don't know. Those kinds of minor leagues, and again, we're all getting excited about the Americans, but two cities, Memphis and Louisville? Is the other city? What's the other city that this NISL, National Indoor Soccer League, is going to have? I'm still waiting for those announcements, and they're supposed to start in December. Now, I know we got some time, but
time's marching
you got to get a league.
I know time's marching on. It's getting close to something you might want to have for dinner time, and I got the best place you can go. Places, Jason's Deli, locations at Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. How about these specialty sandwiches at dinner time tonight? The Papa Joe, the Ranch Po' Boy, the Italian Cruise Po' Boy, all the great sandwiches, the Club Royale, even the smaller Club Royale. That's a lot of great food. The smoked turkey breast, ham, bacon, Swiss, cheddar, lettuce, tomato, honey mustard, toasted croissant. Terrific. All the soups, all the salads, all the food, all the service at Jason's Deli. They like to say wholesome food forever. It's a family thing. It's very much a family thing. Over 200 Memphis area associates all pulling together for you, the valued customer. Dine in, to go, delivery, and it's all about choice, regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the Build Your Own, you can do it, and you will be delighted at Jason's Deli. Salad bar, back open, over 30 items to choose from. Catering, anytime, anywhere, and at these locations on Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova, wrap it all up with a complimentary free ice cream. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
We were talking about the image and the damage that Patrick Beverley might have done to himself last night. He apparently now is apologizing for the shove.
Well, that's fine. He's still going to get suspended.
He says frustration got the best of him. And he walked up, he walked up to Chris Paul and just shoved him in the back. And the video is just it's a pretty cheap shot. Let's face that. He just says, emotions got the best of me last night. My bad wasn't meant for you. This is to Paul. Congrats on making it to the finals. Best of luck. What?
Yeah, a little late, but okay.
Yeah, I think he still deserves the book thrown at him. And
how many games start next year?
How many games would I suspend him for? 2 without pay. Would you go more?
2 sounds about right.
Yeah. But there are some people that, admire how hard he plays and how much he cares. But I think he turned a lot of those same people off last night with that kind of stuff.
I think he has turned them off. And he gives you nothing on offense.
He doesn't give you much. You're right about that.
And let's be honest, it's not a defensive league anymore. He's really just a pest.
Tonight, what happens? Bucks, Hawks.
I think Hawks win, but I'm like Keith Smith. Every time I think I've had no handle on this, so go Oppo.
Well, the game being in Milwaukee will help the Bucks. That is for certain.
Dave, I know you remember it when TBS with Skip Carey kind of doing the Hawk NBA package. Didn't it feel like the Hawks and the Bucks were on every night about 1978, playing at the Mecca or playing at the Omni? This is that TBS Skip Carey NBA package, and Skip Carey was a great NBA announcer.
Skip Carey was just a good announcer. He had he was so different than his dad. So Skip
different. And
is the
made
son
it work. He separated
of
himself.
Harry. He did. I think he did not want to be known
as a clown.
Right. But he had the most wonderful dry sense of humor, and I loved his baseball to go.
Oh, his baseball
with
was
it.
great.
And you know what? His son, Chip Carey,
I think Chip's
Chip
really
Carey's
good.
terrific.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't remember Skip doing football. Do you ever remember a football package with him?
I just remember basketball and baseball. I don't think he ever did football. I don't think I've ever seen Chip do anything but baseball.
The TBS college football guy was Dave Neal's dad. Was he Dave Neal as well?
Yeah.
Or was it Bob?
Bob Neal.
Bob
Neal.
I remember
Bob
him.
Neal was great. Well, he worked with Skip Carey.
Yeah.
They were that was a really good. I'm pretty sure that's right. They were a
Pete
really
Van
good
Wieren was in there.
team.
Ernie Johnson.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ernie Johnson Sr.
Senior, right? And Ernie Johnson Jr. is just a terrific human being, it seems to me. And that
when
you
Skip Carey would say we're going into another bottom of a fifth.
when you think of studio teams, I mean, the very first one I think of was the ones that really invented the genre of a pregame show that had interesting characters, a formula, and it's Musburger, Phyllis George, Roy,
Irv
Cross, and Jimmy the Greek. Those four, and that really invented the way we watch pregame shows. I would have to say the next one that you would think of is, and it's better because they have so many different production stuff.
I think
they can
Game
do.
Day.
Game Day is right up there, but I got to tell you,
and
for sheer
late 70s, early
magnetism,
80s, NFL with Costas, Will McDonough, OJ on the set, that was really good.
That was good, but I'm telling you,
Pete
Ernie
Axtell,
Johnson Jr.
they're great.
With Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley, and you could put
They're
Shaq
great.
in there or Magic. The three are
it's
really
entertaining,
they're,
it's clever,
they're
it's
magic.
informative.
And their production, the crew behind, and all the stuff that they've thrown in and invented. They've expanded the genre. It's pretty good
And Ernie
stuff.
Johnson makes it go because he doesn't have to have mic time.
That's exactly right. He doesn't, and yet he gets enough to steer everybody the right way. It is really good stuff. Kind of like the stuff that you'll find, and I was there yesterday at James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. I love going in there because they always keep the store so fresh. All of the newest fashions are in. All those big brand names that you love. All the same people are there to make sure. Look, you might be a guy that has had Shine buying your clothes, making sure you look great for the last 30 years. It's absolutely terrific. I love all the people at James Davis, and they're the only ones with the Stant Perfect Fit system. This is where technology comes in. You feed 3 measurements for shirt, 2 measurements for pants into a computer. The algorithm figures it all out, and it comes up with the perfect fitting custom shirt and now pant. With pant, like I just said, 2 measurements, you will get a perfect fit in the leg, the seat, the bottom. Nothing will be baggy on you. It looks and feels so comfortable. And they got 80 fabrics to choose from. And it's really reasonably priced, and you go in there, get those measurements, and about a week to 10 days later, you look good. You always look good. If you go to James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. We pause for a minute. When we come back, it will be Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through lunch daily from 10 to 1.
Well, lunch is served.
Only on Sports 56, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM.
Even in times like these, special occasions happen. And when an occasion calls for special, it calls for 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. From the spectacular 36-ounce porterhouse paired with a Ferrari Carano Cabernet, to the jumbo lump crab cakes, to the raw bar with oysters fresh off the boat from the Gulf and the East Coast, there is simply no finer dining experience in Memphis than 117 Prime in the heart of downtown. These are complicated times, but if you want simply the best, you want 117 Prime.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Everyone needs help sometimes. If you know of a man who needs help, John 316 Ministries is a spiritual boot camp for men with drug and alcohol addictions. There is no cost for the program to any man suffering from addiction. The only requirement is to be broken and willing to learn a new way of life. Go to john316thecure.com to find out more. Remember, there is hope. John 316 Ministries. We don't offer treatment, we offer the cure.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Voloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, then we hit fame. Too easy with the deal, we get insane.
Welcome back in. Final portion of our show is a sweet one because it's brought to you by Dinstall's. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is summertime. You're going to go to the 4th of July lake party or some backyard. You want to be a hero? Bring them Dinstall's Cashew Crunch, Pecan Brittle, Peanut Brittle, a trio of butter brittles that'll make everybody smile. Chocolate-covered raspberries, strawberries. Ooh, I love love those. Grapes and pineapple. Don't forget the turtlettes or the covered chocolate nuts, all covered in that Dinstall's rich milk or even the dark chocolate. So, 4th of July, maybe you're sending it somewhere to somebody to make a little statement about Memphis being so sweet. Please stop by Dinstall's. It's easy. Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, Pleasant View, and even downtown. It's so easy to make this July 4th weekend sweet as can be with Dinstall's because they've been making sweet memories for over 119 years. It is now officially Taco Bell Crunch Time.
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye.
Boop.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
On one, on two, on three. Hey.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Dave, I learned last night and into today there's no doubt who controls college baseball. It's more dominant in baseball than it is in football. It's the SEC, if you had any doubt. In the 21st century, didn't crown a champ last year, so have crowned 21 champions in the 21st century. LSU twice, South Carolina twice, Vandy twice, Florida once, and the Mississippi State Bulldogs with their title last night. That's 8 out of 21, 38%, 5 different teams. That's dominant.
And don't forget, the team you did not mention in that group was the number 1 overall seed going into this tournament, Arkansas.
They got to be next up, don't they?
I think they do.
Arkansas a little ahead of Ole Miss in that one?
I think so. I think so.
Historically,
but there is no question, it just means more, whatever. Any marketing thing you want to use, I mean, it's pretty clear.
Really matters.
The SEC is the best in football. I don't know if it's the best in basketball, but it's going to make.
It's not. It bugs Sankey that it's not.
They're going to try, and they're certainly clearly the best in baseball. Well, we found out a little earlier ago. Giannis is out of Game 5. We just found out moments ago. Trae Young is out of Game 5. Does that change your mind a little bit about what happens tonight?
What are we going to be watching tonight?
Well, you're going to be watching. I think maybe now is the best player on the floor, Chris Middleton.
Oh, clearly, Olympian.
So now that at home should swing this thing back to Milwaukee being favored.
You say it's good. I could have done without Bobby Bonilla Day. I think it makes the Mets look bad every year and just kind of rekindles all the Madoff, Wilpon financial destruction they had to go through. Those poor people, nobody deserved what Madoff did to them, and they sure didn't. If I'm the Mets, I try to find me a number, pay him off, and quit this annual kind of pinata day.
If I'm Bobby Bonilla, though, and I think I do what the Mets are doing in the new management group, the new ownership group, They're saying embrace it. Mm-hmm. It's only $1.2 million. It's not that crazy. They overpaid. They made a mistake. There's no doubt about that. He seems to be a nice enough guy. He's happy to get a $1.2 million. He should have gotten $6 million. They're going to pay him 4 times the amount of money that he should have gotten in the end.
Sweet.
I mean, good for him. I'm okay with it. I guess I could do without all these seeds that are going down today. The number 3 seed, Alina Svitolina, went down. But here's who didn't go down. Andy Murray, by the way, is a great story coming back. I love it that Roger Federer won in straight sets today against a young guy, the Frenchman Gasquet. Here's the last thing. Coco Gauff, now 17. Look out for her. she could make a run. She's already been to quarterfinals of these Grand Slam events. Look out for Coco Gauff in London.
Keep an eye on tonight, the Eastern Conference Game 5 that'll look like a late September preseason game with so many injuries. Chris Middleton will have to be the star. And what can Atlanta get out of Bogdanovich? He would have to have a big stat line. Baseball started at noon today till midnight tonight. I thought I was going to AutoZone Park, but it doesn't look like I am now. And we'll
that
see.
has not been officially called that I've seen.
It looks challenging all night. Here come the Nationals. The Nationals are all of a sudden hot. They host the Dodgers and Houston.
Cardinals, Rockies. Don't forget them.
Yeah. And let's watch that ERA of Jacob deGrom tonight on the road in Atlanta.
And for those of you who love soccer, remember USA and Mexico and how heated that was for the men? The women play Mexico tonight in a friendly. We want to thank Matt Wyatt. That was fun to listen to him revel in the Mississippi State National Baseball Championship. What a good guy. Can't wait to talk more with him. And don't forget, the Tigers are going to play the Bullies in football. Third weekend of the season. Keith Smith down in Yahoo breaking down tonight. Of course, he didn't know Trae Young wasn't going to play. It was fun doing the top 5 national and local and naming our sports people of the year. We always want to thank our friend Greg Gaston, Talking Tigers. We do that almost every Thursday. Tomorrow, Alan Bell in for Bruce Marshall. Bill King, the guru from Nashville. Tim Doolin, Andy Schiffman. It'll be busy. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones,